So, everyone, good evening and welcome again back to Coach's Desk. Let me put my thing on. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me. I think we just start going back live. And I'm trying to figure out if you can hear me or if anyone has joined the stream. So, we're trying to go back live and try to reach Coach, who's at the National Stadium. See if we can get some views from him as to post-match analysis. Maybe you can get to interview players because he's a media personnel now. So as you would expect, as a media personnel, have access to ask questions of the coach and of the players. I'm not sure if they're going to have a sit down, but that should be interesting actually. Again, if you were on the previous stream, thanks for joining us again. We very welcome you. Fresh God, as usual, you're here. Thanks, Rowan Davis, Duckland Stennett. I want to thank everyone for joining us. It has been an interesting evening. We were able to secure a point today, and it feels so much better not having a loss. So, when you play a game, even if the outcome is not what you want in terms of a draw, at least you didn't lose. Thank you, Travis. So, 'cause people said, thanks a lot. I appreciate the comments. Truly appreciated. Some Andrew saying, nice game, but need new coach. Look, I think we shouldn't. I don't like to celebrate draws, but I must say the effort was there tonight. Whether we had some of the quality we need or not, the effort was there. So we should not say, players aren't playing hard. We are challenged when it comes to the coach, and nobody would like to see poor outcome, getting 2 points from the first 5 games. But we saw application today. So let's think about it this way: we had no low in the defense to support Mariapa. We had Alvas playing for low, who's a normal right back, but Alvas got injured, had to come out. We had to move Javon Watson to defense, and Javon did an exemplary job, even though you hear me saying he can't run. It's the truth. But he worked really hard and played well. I agree, King Jav. Um, Fisher did a much better job after the first 28 minutes after getting the yellow card. It's very difficult as a right back to play with a yellow card against a player like Alfonso Davis, who plays at the highest level for Bayern Munich. But I think Fisher did a very good job. So maybe the coach sees something that we don't see that's there, because I think he actually did a good job subsequent to that yellow card. Now, I will say Canada to me was disappointing. I don't want to take it away from our performance, but they were disappointing in that I didn't see how they differentiate themselves in terms of the technical ability on the ball, how they move the ball through the lines, how they try to exploit Fisher and Alves over that side, especially when Fisher got the yellow card. You would think the coach would tell him, look, let's try to get the next yellow. Isolate Alfonso one-on-one and try to go by Fisher. It happened a few times, and I think Javon Watson did a good job of covering, but not enough to me. Having said that, on the other hand, I thought that our midfield, whether it was Speedy, Anthony Grant, Javon Watson, did a commendable job. They did a commendable job. And we agree, King Jab, about Javane Brown playing. I'm not sure why he didn't get a chance, especially after Alvas' injury. Maybe the coach see him in practice, even though they don't practice much, and says he's not the man. But I don't know. It's interesting. So Dr. Joyful is saying the pitch is not good, that's why I cannot. I don't think so. I don't think it was a pitch that, look, the pitch may not be favorable of those players, but it's the same for the English-based players who play for us, and there were 4 of them, right? Whether you're Roof, whether you are Reed, whether you're Mariapa, whether you're Anthony Grant, you're used to playing on carpets, flush carpets, and this wasn't one. So we had 4 players who didn't play, who haven't played or played on better pitches, and still was able to handle the field. I thought Roof's play was exemplary. Not necessarily the quality of his play holistically, but in terms of his work rate, putting in a tackle, and that's the difference between a Roof and a McGee. So those who are calling for McGee's involvement in the team, and look, I rate McGee. I think he's a good player, but you have to understand that in football today, it's played with 11 men, not 10, not 9.5, 11. And if you're playing the 10 role and you can't cover, That's not a good thing. You can't just play one way up the pitch. So I don't think we can say that the coach made a bad decision playing Roof instead of McGee. We all would like to see McGee, who has the ability to get the ball up to the forwards. But in this game, I think Tapa just want to secure a point more than anything else, actually. So as you come into the stream, everyone, and as Fresh God said, there's 61 people on the likes. Please hit the like button. You did a wonderful job if you're in the previous stream of hitting the like button. Please continue in that vein. Please do so. So I'm trying to find this comment made by, give me 1 second. Yep, here it is. So Issa Allen says Roof no good. He keeps saying he plays two ways, but he did nothing going forward. I think we beg to differ, actually. So the question, what did you expect from him? What could he have done better? Who would have done better in his position? I thought he played decent. I thought he was working really hard. I thought he defended well. I thought he played the ball, secured the ball well. Not as well as Anthony Grant, but secured the ball well. And well, why don't we do this? Issa Allen, how did Flemo play? Flemo was playing up front. Nichols was playing up front. Reed was playing up front. Did they do a better job than Roof? When you're assessing a player and how they went into the game, assess the totality of their play. Do they run out in space? Do they hold the ball up? Do they put a tackle in? Do they fight for headers? Because you're always trying to progress the ball and always trying to defeat your opponent. And saying that he played poorly versus any other player, I find that interesting. I don't think I agree with you. I think you're missing holistically. Are you missing what was expected of the player, what he did on the field? Maybe what you should, here's the best thing you should do, Issa. When you watch a game sometimes, there are things you miss in the game. So replay the game, look at the entirety of the game, focus on Roof if you want to, and you probably see a different game than you thought you saw. Because I didn't see what you see. Not that I have it all right, by the way, but I don't think that Roof played poorly, actually. To the contrary. I think he linked the play up with Boza. I think he linked the play up with Fleming. I think he linked the play up with Reed. He always was present to get the ball. That's what you want in a midfielder. I wanted to be present to receive the ball, to get me out of trouble, and to link the play up. And I thought he was the man of the match by a good distance. I think Grant played well, by the way, but Grant wasn't involved as much as Roof was. And we don't see that much from McGee when he played. We see him on the ball, but he disappears in the game because he's not playing the other way. So he can't win tackles. I would be curious to see what Roof's stats are. And by the way, I apologize for this. I hope Coach comes on. I don't have the information here to present stats of the game, to present analysis of each player, to show the stats on what they did. I don't have that in my repertoire here. He's gonna, the Coach Minns is gonna come back on, and we can probably go through those things because he'll also have the ability to do so as a moderator. Yes, I agree. Roof missed two really good chances. But missing chances doesn't mean you don't play well, right? He should have finished the goal. You can say the thing about the Canadian players. They miss good chances also. People miss chances in games. I think Canada had the best chances. Well, Roof had the best chance of the game, frankly. The Canada player chance was probably as good because he was 6 yards out. He had a clear run at goal. And Blake made a very good save, but he should have placed the ball in the corner. But yeah, Roof header should have been better. And as Neil is saying, you have to compare Roof to McGee. He had a good game on both the defensive and offensive ends of the ball. And frankly, we have said this ad nauseum, McGee doesn't play defense. I think McGee tries sometime, but it's not innate to him. And I think over time, he has to build that in his game, else he won't get the game time that he warrants. It reminds me of Ozil at Arsenal. That's why Ozil was a brilliant going forward, played no defense, and people start getting frustrated. Like, you know what? In today's football, when all 10 players in the goalkeeper, today's environment has to be able to play football. You have to be able to play with your feet, else you can't play. So I am not going to knock Roof game. I thought he played well, and I thought he gave his all. And most importantly, I thought he was committed. And I'll keep saying that word, he was committed. Say Roof dashed for the game. Roof should have passed and shoot from 20 yards, but he should have been subbed off. I don't agree. That shot he took, I would agree. He had options, right? And if you watch a replay of the shot, it wasn't that far off the goal. Now, strikers normally want to shoot for goal. They don't like to pass. So, yes. But I think he was robust and physical in the middle. I don't think Maggie could handle the physicality of the game. I thought he was very robust, very physical, played with his heart. And he was the most involved player in the game, what I saw. The most involved player. And normally it's 10. Normally it's the center midfield, probably, because they're taking the ball from the defenders and getting it up to the other midfielders and the forward. I thought Roof was a presence the entire game. And he missed. Look, Roof has to score for us because in the last game against Panama, I thought he missed two guilty chances, and he did the same today. So he has to figure out. Look, this happens to you sometimes, right? You can't break your duck. You're playing for a new country, but this is only his second game. We have to also realize that. So I think he did well. Neo is saying, I like McGee, but if I bring him on, I know that I have to cover him. Perhaps Tapa think McGee is effective enough to warrant a player who's a defensive minus. Yeah, I think Tapa want to secure at least a point in this game. So you see how happy he was because it alleviates a little bit of pressure. Not a ton, but people are going to feel better about themselves tonight. Because when you don't lose a game, you may not be happy, but you don't feel that sense of remorse. So I think Tapa feels better about the outcome of this game. As Amuru says, and Amuru, I hope I'm not butchering your name, how it looks right now, we probably won't get our strongest team until it will be too late. Shaking my head. Look, I don't think it's too late. Even if we don't get a good result against Honduras, if we get Bailey back, we get Antonio, we get Moore, we get Pinnock, we get Stewart. It's a lot of ifs. But ifs are probability, our possibility, I should say, because it's not really probable. It's possible. And players may, look, when you get a draw, even though the players in the UK may watch this and say, you know what, it's hopeless. I think everyone's going to be more encouraged. Carson White is saying the difference between this game and Roof's Panama game, he was slapping possession, and this game he was more comfortable and progressed the ball well. Yeah, and sometimes that's acclimation to the field, acclimation to the weather. You feel more at home. It was his first game, and those of you who play football, sometimes your first game is your worst game. So let's hope that these two games were his worst games because he's a good player. So I'm gonna post Joaquim. Joaquim, you have dollars in it because every time I see Joaquim, I post dollars. Anyway, Joaquim, we appreciate the contribution. Joaquim said Flemmer is rubbish. Roof pressed hard and was running back, tackling good performance. Pitch save us, my opinion. I'm not sure it was the pitch. I thought we changed strategy this game. So we pressed really hard in the first half. And throughout the game, selectively, we pressed. So the effort was there, and nobody in football, no matter who they are, even if you're Man City, who was brilliant at this, or Barcelona in their heyday, like to be pressed. If the press is vigorous, and our press was really vigorous in the first half. It wasn't a half-hearted press, which I'm going and jockeying back. It was I'm coming at you. You have to release the ball. You're going to lose it, and we turned them over a few times, and they take advantage of it. So I would say we pressed really hard, and that hard press helped us actually, at least in the first half, do a better job of controlling the game. Second half, look, when you press hard, you get tired, especially when the ball gets behind you. So it became a bit more challenging. But Joaquim, I wouldn't say Flemo is rubbish. I just think he's not playing well. He's not playing well. Dante says, agreed, love the attitude, but we need to start scoring. Yeah, well, for most teams, that's a bugaboo, right? Which is you play well, but you don't score goals. And that's never a good outcome for anyone. You have to score to win, but you also have to stop goals from scoring. So here's the positive. It's the first game during the qualifier we haven't given up a goal. Right? Now, we came close to giving up a couple goals, but close doesn't mean anything until the other team score. So we should take positivity from this game, which is, here's the positivity from this game. We play with a makeshift defense. Makeshift. No low, no Avas out right. Avas played inside. So Avas played a position. We brought Fisher in, who, including yours truly, we didn't have the confidence in. That defense didn't give up a goal. So that's a good thing. We had Anthony Grant and Haka in the middle. And I thought Haka, even though I thought he was tired and should be pulled, did well, especially when he went to center back. Because in the middle, he was creating fouls, because you have to pressure the ball. And he looked like he would get another yellow card. So I'll commend the team by saying we got quite a bit of yellow cards early between Fisher and Haka. and Grant, even though he was later, and Roof also got one, but we didn't give up the second yellow, even though I thought I was getting upset at Fisher for trying to pull a player back, pull Alfonso Davis back, which is how we got the first yellow card. But I thought that those 6 persons, including the goalkeeper, did well defensively. And we had good pressure from Reed, from Roof, and from Flemo in terms of defense, right? So I wouldn't say that defensively, I would say defensively we played well, actually. I'm waiting for the coach to join me, and he hasn't done so yet. And so, coach, if you can't hear me, coach, I'm not sure if you're watching the stream, but we need you to join me. I think Neo and Devin are trying to reach you also. So, coach, if you can, I would love for you to reach out to Devin and to Neo. That'd be a great thing. If you can do so, we'd greatly appreciate it. So everyone, I want to get views on the game itself. You thought it was a good game, bad game? How do you feel about the outcome? Are you happy? I think coach is joining us, by the way. Hey, coach, you can't see no coach. Look like Devon, like Pini Wall, thing.
No, man. Remember, I drive. I'm on my way back home.
Okay. So what's your
Yeah,
perspective, coach? People in the audience, I think we have over 200 people in the audience. What's your perspective on the game? You were there, you saw it live. Give us your views.
I believe though it was big up to all the persons. Cranky, really appreciate you, taking up the opportunity to run the stream while fans out there. Appreciate you being on as well.
No problem, coach. Love to do it.
All
Coach,
right,
by the way, coach, your reception is not the greatest, by the way, but keep going.
Yeah, man, I'm using my mobile data. So what I'm gonna do, just give my perspective and try as best as possible to get home on time, so I can jump on from home.
Okay.
So, in terms of the interaction with the players, well, I've never known players have no rate coaches this, so I'm cranky.
Oh yeah?
Man, them watch the thing, man. Yeah, man.
And do they love the criticism? Do they love the criticism? Because we don't play, So
I mean, they will not always like things like those, but once it is constructive, it was a good little interaction with them. I have some content to drop, some interviews and all of those things. But to begin with, the game was a hard fought game in terms of you could see that the Canadians really came here to get a point on the road. And for the Jamaicans, the 1 point is not enough. But speaking to some of the players, they alluded to the fact that, they did not concede, they did not lose. So that's a positive, and they'll take the positive from that going into the game against Honduras. They were disappointed, if you ask me. They got opportunities, they did not put it away. So getting a clean sheet is good, but for me, I actually spoke to Junior Flemings and asked him, how come he did not, what are your thoughts about that opportunity? Do you think it was a clear opportunity or it was luck that he did not score? And he said that it was sort of awkward for him how the ball came over. So it wasn't at a height where he could, latch onto it and drive his head into it. So he said that he did not want to use an excuse, but it's just part of the process. And they are upbeat and they are trying as best as possible to, do what they need to do. They said that things are coming around, the gelling, in spite of what persons are saying. Things in the camp look good. That's what they are saying. You know, we're not on the inside. For me though, I think the changes.
Coach, we lost you. We seem to have lost Coach. By the way,
No man,
everyone,
I'm here. I'm here.
no,
I'm here.
you were saying about the changes. We lost
Yeah,
you when you
man.
said the changes.
The changes. I think that the coach took too long to make the changes in my estimation. Andre Gray would have needed more time. Jamal Lowe, and he relished the opportunity to play in his first home game. So I mean, but then again, I don't know. It was
But
just a game
Coach,
that we should have gotten 3 points, and we never get it.
yeah, but Coach,
Disappointment.
you know what happened, Coach? Which is this, Coach? Which is Low came on and looked really good, by the way.
Yes.
Low, you can see the quality in the player. Gray came on, had a mixture, some fouls, some unnecessary fouls, but you can see as a linkage with Low, which we
Yeah, they
saw in the
played well
Austria game
together.
also. Yeah, they played well. And I
Yeah.
thought Roof worked his socks off.
Yes. But there's something about Rube that I observe. He's a very smart player, full of guile,
Yeah.
intelligent player on the park. But Roof is physically, Roof Roof has some very big calves and all of that. But
Oh,
on the
okay.
ball, it's like him too easily dispossessed. And I'm not
Okay.
certain if it is as a result of him playing out of position. Because you don't want Roof to be as close as possible to the 18-yard box.
Right.
Him put a decent play, or take the ball away from an opponent, and or shift the man, as we'd call it, and just strike. That opportunity that he got, he should have buried that or passed the ball. He had a lot of options. He went for the spectacular because forward, you want to hit that, and the in the morning the headline would be off the roof.
Yeah,
So
yeah, 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 yeah.
so
Good headline that. Um, right now it's over the roof. It's not,
yeah,
it's
it
over the
was
roof.
over the roof.
We over the roof. We over the. It wasn't way over.
It,
It was a close shot. It was a good shot actually,
yeah,
but
but
it wasn't the
Frankie,
best option. It was the
looking
best
at it,
option.
looking at
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
if he was to shoot, which he did, I believe based on where I was sitting, he had more space to maneuver the ball,
Yeah.
or he could have passed the ball, because I think there are about three more players around him. He could have
Okay.
chose, but he really can't hit a striker to get a shot.
Yeah. Coach. By the way, coach is doing a yeoman's job. Um.
Good shot. Like I said, I believe that he should have dribbled more because he had a lot of space to move forward, and that was just the outcome of that. I mean, yeah, that's my view on the game. Things could have
Well.
been better, but we hit
Yeah.
the bar. We got chances that was cleared, or the header from Flemings, and oh boy, one of them thing there.
Yeah. And look, they got chances too, right? You saw the chance they got where Blake saved. Um. Number 17, the one Blake pushed outside over the bar.
Panama beat United States
They did. What was the score? I didn't watch that game actually.
1-0. Costa Rica won 2-1. So
Wow. So at least they're still bunched up, I mean, we won about the draw, but they're still bunched up. Nobody's ran away with it yet. Mexico and US are out there, but can't hear your coach. Coach, we have lost you. I know you're driving, so it becomes challenging, but we have lost you. Yeah, we need some more positive outcomes though. We need to have our best team.
So, Cranky, me I go jump off here because
Yeah. Okay.
the reception, and me I get phone calls and them. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
as
So we'll
soon
see you in
as
a
we
bit.
reach it, we can link up.
All right. See you in a bit, coach.
All right, cool.
So as you join the stream, everyone, hit up the likes. Hopefully you like the stream today. We're looking forward to having some robust discussion when coach gets home. And by the way, when he cuts home, he'll assume this moderating this stream because it's much more challenging than I imagined. But I do think the game was an interesting game. It was a game where both teams were trying to sort each other out. No team was very dominant. Canada has had a very good run to date, and so therefore you would expect them to. I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong thing. I don't mean to put tap out. I'm not putting them tap out tonight, actually. So Ziggy Man is saying, but it shows how inept our attack is if Roof missed shot is a major talking point. Fact is, we should create multiple scoring opportunities, and I won't say we didn't, I say we don't. We barely created a clear chance in any game. Well, I think the Roof chance was a clear-cut chance. So Jamaican footballers sometimes think that only your feet gives the best chance to score. Frankly, Roof's header was a clear-cut chance. The one he kicked over the bar, he had better options. I think he had Speedy wide, he had someone to the left. He had better options to take versus what he took was to take a shot. Now, was it a good shot? Just over the bar, but it wasn't on target. So if to me it's not on target, it's not a good shot. Gotta make the keeper save and made a save. Taxi shot in the last shot of the game that went off for a corner. I think I wouldn't call it a chance because that was self-created by Taxi running from deep, but he could have scored also. And Flemo's ball that he got over, the ball came a little bit awkward that he tried to head in the near post, but you could also call it a chance. So yes, we don't do the best job of creating from open play, clear-cut chances where we get behind the defense, create one-on-one with the keeper. Somehow those chances are eluding us. But I wouldn't say we didn't create clear chances because the Roof header to me was a clear chance. And in fact, if he hit the target any way, shape, or form at that speed, to keep the ball would either bounce off the keeper and someone tap it in or go in the net. He gotta hit the target. He's trying to be precise. Given that the last time against Panama, he had a similar header, but he had that ball straight to the keeper. And as a striker, you don't want to head the ball to the keeper, but you gotta give yourself some room for error when you're heading to the far post or the near post. So I did think that he should have done a better job with that. But I thought he played well. And if I was picking a man of the match, it's either him or Grant, and I would pick Roof given his work rate. Now, what is Fresca saying? Yes, Fresca, I agree with this. So people, please subscribe. That's why I post that up there. And thank you, Fresca. You're always here doing a wonderful job. Tapa is no Matt's brain from primary school. We had a great win and use all options. Available 3 point was there for the thing. Look, I don't think this is a Tapa bashing evening, frankly. To be a bash coach when you get a bad outcome. Now, one could say, look, we only have 2 points. We should have won this game. But Canada could say the same thing. I thought they had a good a chance as us in terms of being able to score. So, look, I take the 1 point. I put it in my bag. I thank, given the number of players who were missing. Guys, think about the number of players. We didn't have most of the English-based players. We were missing Low. Avas pulled up early in the game. We called Javon Watson from the nursing home, and he drank something. Some people drink some stuff and give some tonic, and he seemed to have given him some energy because he still runs slow. Like we have 2 senior citizens in the center of the park, and they played decent. I thought the Grant was good. I thought Watson started off slowly, but got more involved in the game, and he went to center half. So maybe the coach knows more than we do about who we can rely upon, who are his soldiers, because frankly, he was needed this evening. He was badly needed, and he did a very good job, a yeoman's job. So we shouldn't complain. We shouldn't complain about some of these things. Michael Jones said we always stand for mediocrity in our football. I don't think anyone is standing for mediocrity. I think we are realistic. We can do much better. We have talked ad nauseum on this program a number of times about infrastructure, administration, resources, coaching. I was reading a stats the other way. Spain has over 2,700 what I'm going to deem to be A licensed coaches, and I'm not sure how much we have in Jamaica. If we have 1 or 2, that's material. So if you see Spain playing good football, playing tiki-taka football, can possess the ball, because they have people who have been educated and informed about how to play football. I mean, use the word loosely, play football. And play it well, know the nuances within the game, know how to shoot a ball, how to run off a player, how to hold up the ball, how to be composed in difficult situations, how to progress the ball. They learn all these fundamental attributes that you need to have to be a good footballer, and they apply them. But you need coaches to teach you and reemphasize these things over and over again, because as the saying goes, practice make perfect. So look, I'm not in the bashing this evening. I'm going to take my point and go home because it could have been worse, right? The way we've been playing, leaking goals, we didn't give up a goal, and we need more attacking up front. I didn't think Flemo had a good game. I was saying Bobby Reed has not been playing well. He played a little bit better today, especially defensively, but he's not been playing well. I thought Roof played well. Nicholson wasn't in the game because he wasn't getting service, frankly. And when he did, he's not the best player in holding the ball up. All the defensive players, not because we have a clean sheet, whether it was Fisher later on, whether it was Alvas before he went off, whether it was Mariappa, who is, if you had Mariappa, Grant, and Watson, they add up to over 100 years old, So it says a good thing about experience and the old men and how they conduct themselves. I thought Taxi had a decent game. And what Fisher was doing, even though I think he struggled early, it's very difficult to cover an Alfonso Davis, who has not been covered, frankly, when he plays well for his career. And even though he created some problems, he didn't score. He created one opportunity, which was a clear mischance. But I thought that the defense did well and Blake did well in the goal. So look, people say we settle for mediocrity. I'm not sure that's what the focus should be tonight. It should focus on we feel better about ourselves because a draw is better than a loss. So I'd say that way. A draw, and I say again, is better than a loss. If we lost tonight, it would not be a good fix. I think that Dusrell, if I pronounce it right, Dusrell Thompson is saying, cranking to fix Jamaica, coaches, coaches, coaches. Yes, I would agree that we need to have better coaches. Now, I think the coach in Jamaica will get perturbed at us and saying we may denigrate the coaching in Jamaica that they have good coaches. But you know what? You got to get the accreditation. You can't say you're very smart. You go to school and you don't get a degree. Nobody gonna hire you. You got to show in the practice and the theory that you are qualified, and you have practicals that you have to do to show you're qualified to coach at a certain level. You just have to. So we have to get the resources, develop our coaches, let them go get the accreditation to enable them to be recognized coaches, and not only coach in Jamaica, coach outside of Jamaica. There are few Jamaicans or in the diaspora who are coaching outside of Jamaica at a high level. We need more of them to be in Jamaica coaching the youth, but also maybe go overseas and learn and bring it back to the country. Because as Paul was saying last night, Orville Powell, which is all of us in the totality need to contribute to football in Jamaica holistically for the program to move forward. So we got to think about every one of us, whether in the diaspora or locally, what can we do individually to assist with the football program to get our players in Jamaica to be at the same level as English-based players. Frankly, if you don't want English-based players, then get better quality. And if you get better quality, then no one would dispute those players being in the team and talk about the players or coach's pet, because they will clearly demonstrate in their daily lives where they play that they have the quality to be in the team and to do the country proud. So we shouldn't look. I'm not going to bash any player tonight because we were bashing Fisher earlier because some of us don't really rate Fisher, and he's played a few games that we've seen when he looked dodgy, but he did well tonight, and he was playing against a very, very, very difficult, a world-class player. And when you play against world-class players, especially when you're at world-class, it's hard. It's hard to play. It's hard to play. Those of you who have played football and play against players who are better than you, it can be a nightmare. And Fisher worked his socks off. The whole team worked their socks off. So let's not bash the team. And I understand that we didn't win. I understand people are disappointed. We see the World Cup. Qatar is far. It start look like some star in the distant future. But it's not a lost cause. We got to get out our players. We got to get them to be committed, because everyone talks about commitment. We have to get them into the team and get them playing as a unit. And I hear someone say Mexico 1-3-0. I thought Honduras was playing well, but when you're down to 10 men, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. And I thought tonight we were going to be down to 10 men because we had 4 people on yellow cards, but they played smart enough to not get the second yellow. And I thought the ref was a little bit lenient. I know some people in the chat were complaining about the ref because he was letting things go. But in today's football, The view is that players fake injuries too much, so you have to let the game flow. If you keep blowing the whistle, the game is not flowing. So tiki taka foul, why call it? And I must agree that sometimes they miss it, but sometimes this is needed. Shane is saying, I agree we need more local coaches to have higher qualification so the youth would be exposed to good coaching from early. Yes, that's an imperative, Shane, which is if you learn bad habits from early, it transition to the entirety of how you play going forward from your youth to your adulthood. So you need players to learn the fundamentals, learn how to shield a ball, learn to make a wall pass, learn to run into space, learn how to tackle, learn how to jockey, learn how to not overcommit. You got to learn those fundamentals, how to play triangles, how to get into space, how to deceive your man, how to beat a man. You got to learn all those fundamentals real early so they're innate to your game. And when you're playing, when you watch overseas players, watch the Premier League, you see players do certain things. They've been taught over and over again. It's been reiterated. It's been something that's drilled into them. So at some point, it becomes natural. They're not concerned about keeping the ball. They know they have the quality. They see a pass before they get the ball, and they're always glancing where they have. Look how Grant play. He knows where he's at every time he's on the field. He glances really well. They're quick glances to where I am. So if I know where I am, where you're coming from, I can go the other way. He does that really, really well. So if we have players that learn the fundamental, it will only help us to do really well. And I think Grant clearly demonstrated that age is not a prerequisite for playing well. It actually it helps you to play well because your experience sometimes is invaluable. And as someone is saying, as Stefan Wright is saying, becomes muscle memory, and I agree. If you do something over and over again, after a while, it becomes natural and you don't have to think, you just act. So we do appreciate the fact that I'm going to keep saying this. I love that we got a point because I was tired of losing. Devon,
Yeah, Cranky.
good night, sir. What are your thoughts on the game? We're having the post-game analysis. We haven't gone to the players yet. Waiting for coach to join, so he can put up the stats. We can go each player. We can talk about the teams in general. We can talk about how we played, what we need to do going forward, the Honduras game. We can mention a number of different topics. But right now, we're just talking post-game analysis of your views on how you think we played and how Canada played, and are you comfortable with the outcome?
I I wanted the 3 points, but I'll take one. I think we're a bit lackluster when we started the game. But as the game progresses, we start looking better and better. Organization. You see what a good CDM can do for a team when it comes on to organizing the midfield. And I think Anthony Grant would bring wealth of experience. That's something that you can't coach, you can't teach that. But I think the team needed a little bit more dimension. And when I say dimension, I mean purpose of going forward with the ball. When you get into the opponent's third, you have to be creative. You have to break their backlines, force mistakes so you can score goals. That's how goals are scored. If you didn't force anybody into making mistakes, the game would be a perfect game. And I know it's not a perfect game, but I want to see a little bit more from this Jamaica team in terms of urgency, second balls, first ball. You get to the first ball, you get to the second ball. When you get possession, I want to see you open up and advance this ball, move the ball quickly. Don't hold the ball and look like you're lost, like you don't have a purpose. You don't know where you are. You don't know where your teammates are on the field. You know, it needs the team needs something. I I I can't put my hand on it because I'm not the coach. But if I mean there are people in and around the team that can, but that's again if the coach will listen to advice. You know, I
Yeah.
mean that's a big thing. If he wants, I mean, you can learn from a baby. You know, if you're willing to learn, and I think he should listen more to his coaching staff because they might have a different views on the game and seeing the game differently. People who watch the game on television probably see the game differently from who is on the bench or who is in the stands. And you can put your pieces together. Take all the advice and you put it together and make one blend and see if you can come up with a solution. You know, that's how coaching is. That's part of coaching. You know, and but we're still in the same position because looking at the other results, we're still at the bottom. Um, our closest rival might be what 3 points above us. You know, which is not this. That's a win, which is not good. And there's a next round of game. We're going into Honduras, and going into Honduras, I always put it in a difficult manner in terms of you want to cross to the next side to go home, but guess what? The where you have to cross is a swamp full of alligators. So you have to take that risk to get across to the next side. That's how I always terms going down into Central America. It's a tough, tough place to play. You know, the Honduras, the Costa Rica, El Salvador, the Mexico, to a lesser extent, the Guatemalas, you know, Panama, you know. But if the team goes down there with a purpose, I think drawing against Canada might give them a little push and give them a belief that guess what, we can still be in this thing and all is not lost. And this is our World Cup. This game of the round, the last game of the round, this is make or break. This is our World Cup, and you have to go out there and fight the bull, the matador, and the bull. And if you don't kill the bull is going to kill you. You know, so we have to go out there with a tough mind and say, gentlemen, we're gonna fight to the end and see where it takes us from here.
Look, I would agree with you that we can't give up. We we have no room for error, so we really have to take all these games like do or die games. We can't afford any more defeats. We can afford
True,
more draws, but we can't afford more defeats. So
true.
because if we lose, that means someone is 3 points further ahead of us.
Further ahead of us, yeah.
Right. So what's your view on this in terms of a potential midfield going forward?
Um, I think I think we with Anthony Grant in there as the midfield general, person who can dictate tackles, hold up the ball well, but we still need a second person in that nature because I was worried tonight when I saw him went down and limping. You know, I said, oh, you know, so
Yeah.
we need to look at somebody else I mean, in the mold of a Kevin Stewart, I think he can bring a lot.
Right.
You know, and even if Kevin's not available, there are other players, our cousins there, you know, and see where it takes us from here. But I would like to see DJ and Ravel back into this team. I would like to see them play with a Grant because I spoke to the lad Grant and he said he would like to play with Ravel.
Right.
Yeah, he would like to play with Ravel. You know, and the coach has to listen to certain things because I'm pretty much sure that there are words going around, and all he has to do is have a keen ears and listen and hear the sounds that come in. Players are saying, "Okay, I want to play with this guy," you know, and I think this guy and I will make a good blend, you know, and so forth. Um, Michael Antonio is gonna be an integral part in this team going forward. So looking at November, I think after November we played when again? February or January. You know, so we need to bring him, even if he can't play the 3 games in a window. We have to get the best two out of him. You know, look at the teams and put him in the toughest games because we need somebody of that nature to help us to get over this hurdle. You know, defensive wise, I think I think we have a good defensive unit in Pinnock, Moore, Lowe, Mariappa, you know, to name a few in the central defense. You know, my concern is we are carrying one left back, and God forbid if Taxi goes down, who is his replacement? You know, you see Alvas, we don't know how long he's gonna be out for. They might patch him up again. But I think a Javian Brown playing for his club, starting for his club, a younger lad who can go up and down the field for 90 minutes, bring a lot of different looks and dimension to his game. I think it's a time for him to get a look in. You know, I've watched this kid play, and I think he can bring a lot defensively and in the attacking zone with this national team because of how he plays for his club team. And if I was a coach, I would watch some of his games and employ him in the same mold of how his team employs him in those games because you have quality central defenders around him that and defensive midfielders know that if he gets caught, somebody can swing outside and cover for him while he can come back and trap back in the middle of the park until he gets back into his original position. That's how team transition and team plays and come back and keep their shape. You know, but I think I'm still optimistic about our chances. It's a long campaign and teams are going to blunder down the road. Teams might get complacent, people might get complacent and said, okay, we have X amount of points and we can relax. And then it might play into our favor. All of a sudden, we can start accumulating points and creep up and get back even into a fourth place playoff. But I still have a belief that all is not lost.
Yeah, someone made JC's made a comment here, which I find really interesting. I think what Haka did in defense was a lesson to Damian Lowe. Keep it simple, let the CDM and CM have possession. I think it's a great point, Jason, which is even more than that, is the ability to be restrained and not always go for the spectacular play, which is the interception or the tackle or trying to take the ball out of defense. Patience is a virtue, especially at center half. When you're sure of winning the ball, you go for the ball. Don't try to nip the ball sometime and then you put yourself in a difficult position. Also, what's important is, which I thought Watson did, was look at the ball, help your right back. Look at the ball between the lines or the ball going wide and know when to go over. Watson even tracked down Alfonso when I think he got by Fisher. And the cross still came in, but at least he did a good job of preventing him from getting to the box and be one-on-one with the keeper. So I do think that maturity, that experience does come into play a lot, but Lowe is an experienced player. So I can't give him the excuse that he's not experienced. I think he's sometimes overly aggressive. Look, I rate Lowe. I've always rated Lowe. But as I said before, the more I watch him, the more I'm seeing the errors in his game. And when you are playing at the level he is and the experience he has, you have to cut those out of your games as it costs your team, actually. So I do think I agree with the perspective, which is keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things and then put yourself in a situation you can't get out of. But look, it's there's a number of people in the stream. Everyone, I can't put up all the comments, trying to do so, but want you to comment so you can have your voices being read, because we have no phone calls tonight unless the coach come in and put up and open the line. But I appreciate everyone who joined the earlier stream and joining this stream. It's been a better feeling. I say this again with you. It's amazing how things can change in a few days, because sometimes you're despondent, but things are not going well. It's like life in general. But when you have an outcome which is not negative, because I'm not going to say it's overly positive, it's not negative, you feel better about yourself. Devin even has aspirations or the view that we can actually get to a good place in this whole qualifier. Just based, I'm going to say this mainly on this one outcome because it shows there's a potential there. And as Neo said in his previous comment, which is the whole cancer is not just between the English-based players or shouldn't say based, English-born players, because DJ, I think, is born in Jamaica. Bailey is born in Jamaica. So it's English-born players and what is deemed to be locally born players were developed locally. That supposed rift, which is not a mirage, is exacerbated by the people in Jamaica who should know better, the coaches. So if the coaches feel like, you know what, players from England not committed because some of them show it, you can't damn all the players with that comment because there's going to be some players. And secondly, you as a responsible person who is in a position of leadership cannot say certain things in certain environment. You just can't. I know you want to think that you're straightforward and you're honest, but you can't. And I was taught this by a partner in one of the firms I work with. You know what he said to me, Bertram? I must say Stan Kroenke. Yep, the right name. He said, being right doesn't make you effective. So what does that mean? So I'm right about something. So you're going to have a negotiation. I'm right. And I beat you over the head with being right because I know I'm right. I have all the facts and you don't have it. So you walk away feeling down, feeling disappointed. You walk away if you have lost everything. And I make you feel like, you know what? So why would that person want to deal with me going forward? If I have humility in winning, if I have humility in how I engage you, and I say, look, I know I'm right, but X, Y, Z make you feel better, you may want to engage with me going forward. We have a tendency to want to show how much we are right. We're going to pour in that right. We're going to hit you and make sure we totally destroy you. Don't realize that that's not the end of life. You have to think about things more broader, which is, I may need to engage this person. I may need to associate with them. I may need to be involved with them. So why would I want to destroy that situation, destroy me making them feel good about themselves, even though I come out on top? We don't know how to win with humility. We don't know how to engage with humility. I don't want to preach to you guys, but I'm just saying we're going to manage how we engage as people, which will allow us better to engage with each other and do better. When you have, for example, when you have a traffic accident, You ain't gonna come on and fight and try to destroy the person because you have an accident, because it's normally a mistake. You're disappointed, but find a way to negotiate out a difficult situation. We don't know how to manage conflicts, and that causes us to be in really bad situations. A lot of times in life in general, much less in the sporting arena. I think Jamaica Paradise, you said Anthony Grant was man of the match. I think you meant man of the match, Jamaica. Look, I think Anthony played really, really well. I'm sure the stats will justify that. But as I said before, I thought Roof was the man of the match, just his amount of involvement. So yes, he sometimes lost the ball, but his defensive work, his offensive work, he looked like he could be dangerous. Yeah, I thought he did well actually.
Yeah, at one point in time when he took that shot there, I thought that was going in because I jumped up and I screamed goal because I could just see the ball on the roof of the net. And Cranky, you know what is excited about this is that I don't know if the people in the comment, yourself and other Jamaican in the diaspora, look at the names in the squad, in the pool of players: Ethan Pinnock, Liam Moore, Damian Lowe, Adrian Mara-Appa, Ravel Morrison, Wes Harding, Daniel Johnson, Kevin Stewart, Anthony Grant, Damian Lowe, Kemar Lawrence, Kemar Roof, Gray. Listen, this team on paper, this squad on paper, the 30 or whatever number it is, on paper, scary, look scary. I'm telling you. And any team, look at that paper and see those names and look at the clubs they're playing for and what they have done. We'll put something in the back of their head and say, listen, this Jamaica team is no joke, If they get it together right, if this Jamaica team comes together and the blend comes together, this Jamaica team can turn over anybody in CONCACAF. And that is what is so excited to me. And this is the reason why I am very, very optimistic that down the road, somebody is going to falter and we are going to beat some people and we might catch up and even get a playoff spot. You never know, because teams we are in a pandemic, gentlemen. Anything can happen. Look at the Canadian team today. Look how many players they're missing. Look at the Jamaica team. Look how many players has pulled out. Say, for instance, I think a Honduran player got a red card today. We have a Costa Rica to come to Jamaica. We have a Mexico to come to Jamaica. What if when those teams come to Jamaica, they're depleted? They're missing players through suspension, COVID, anything. Somebody is going to mess up and we are going to be back in the mix. And all of a sudden, everybody's going to be excited again.
Neil, welcome back, Neil. By the way, coach, if you turn up, come I get hungry. I know dinner, I starve. So you better hurry up. So
Boy,
get some food.
Me eat for me.
I know you have Thanksgiving, so I know you have had really well today.
Very well.
So Neil, these things are longer than I thought actually, just sitting here.
Yep.
But at least I get to talk. Where's Cataract? I won't get that word in when he come. So I want him to join the stream so we can go sleep and wake up.
You have to make sure say you talk or you talk.
Yeah, we can have a talk here. So Neil, what's your perspective post game?
Well, I mean, I think that I saw some improvement there, and I didn't think that we played a whole lot better. but I saw a team that had an objective, that had a tactic, right? I saw the players playing with more discipline and more effort. I think that there were times when we lapsed in concentration, but I got the sense, like Coach Devon said, that there were some subtle improvements there. That shows that we're on the way to probably gelling, right, a little bit better. This was Roof's second game. Yes, there was a goal there that I really wish he could have put away. I think he did a better job than he did in the first game, in the game against Panama. That's not hard to do, by the way, since that was a horrific game. But I mean, he did do a better job at that. Um, I mean, there are reasons to be optimistic, such as the way Anthony Grant played. You know, I have a little person here trying to get in 1 second.
Your
Yeah,
son wants to put
Oh,
him on the camera.
the little man.
Maybe his
yes.
smile will light up the camera, and we all
Yeah,
Hi.
happy.
Go ahead and say hi.
Hi.
How are you
Hi,
doing?
how you doing?
All right,
Good night.
that's enough now. Okay, see you soon. Yeah, yeah, man. But yeah, so there are reasons to be optimistic. I think the issue is though that you know even though we've made some improvements, we really needed those 3 points tonight. You
Yes.
understand? Honduras lost that game, but they're still in a better position than we are. Right now, our best look into this World Cup qualification is at fourth spot, right? Where we're going to be playing off against some team from Asia. Is that still available to us? I think. Because right
Is
now
it Asia
Panama looks
or Oceania?
Oceania. My bad.
Yeah.
Because Panama beat the United States tonight. You understand? So if we're going to knock somebody off, it has to be either Panama or Canada. And we didn't help ourselves to knocking off Canada tonight by merely drawing with them. We had to beat them tonight in Jamaica and get 3 more points on them when we got to.
Yeah, look, I MPEG.
I know
Good
you
night. How are
probably
you
want to
doing?
see Canada go through
Good,
to the World
thanks.
Cup.
Sorry, MPEG. One second. Sorry, Neil. You froze for a minute. Finish your thought.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm saying I know Coach Devon is in Canada and he probably wants to see Canada go through to the World Cup as well. But I think that as things stand, Jamaica was going to or Canada, and I'm not sure if we're in a position to do that. No, know that we drew with Canada in Jamaica.
Yeah, I mean it would be something to see Canada and Jamaica go through, but is that realistic? We don't know. Not at this point. I mean, we're still in the doldrum. Hopefully, as I said, I mean, I think somebody will falter down the road and we might start grabbing some points. Tonight, I'm gonna say I can breathe a little bit easier, and when I go back to work on Tuesday, I don't have to go through all the beatings and and Jamaica is not good and the taunting and so forth. So I feel a little bit better. I can breathe. I can breathe.
Is a
Well,
third
no one
spot
has.
still within
No,
our reach?
is that you can get fourth spot also and have a playoff. So
I
Yeah,
agree,
I
but
mean
I'm
fourth
just
spot for
saying.
it's
CONCACAF.
still
Yeah.
it still have what as it stands 33 points, is it? I think something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
stamped our this comment here. You guys can talk. USA may not
At
qualify.
30,
Only Mexico.
at 35, I think maybe 35, 36 there about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This comment is saying that look, it's wide open. I'm going to read a comment in my own way, which is it's sort of wide open. We have 5 games at
Mhm.
home. We still have a chance. Hempek, welcome. Good night. What are your views?
Good night, fellow
Impact also.
panelists. Good night, viewers in the comment section.
Good
All
night.
right, while it's not the worst possible outcome, I am a little bit disappointed. I was nervous at the start when I saw Alvas Powell starting the game because I was in the comment section last night and I literally saw almost everyone picking Alvas to start, and I was commenting repeated in the comment section that Alvas is injured. It was clear as a day that even if he start this game, he
Is that
won't
gonna finish it?
he won't be able to finish. And I
Okay.
can't. It was clear to me, and I'm not a coach. I don't work with football anymore. So why it couldn't be clear to the technical and coaching staff that Alvas can't be patched up for an intense game like this that we need to win. But nevertheless, overall the starting lineup wasn't too bad. I was a little bit nervous about Fisher as well. He struggled a bit in the first half, but grew into the game as the game got older. Um, to me, as coach said earlier, I thought the changes in the second half took too long as well. And I thought Javon East change was a waste change. I would have preferred to have seen Maggie instead of a East, and then we push Roof into his natural position. And I think we would have had a better last 15, 20 minutes had that change made. You know, we still have about 27 points up for grab. To me, to finish in the top 3, to be sure of a top 3 position, we're looking at 22 points. And for fourth place, maybe about 19. To finish on 22 points means that we have to win all our remaining
Home games.
home games and probably only lose one more game on the road and draw the rest of games on the road. We only have 2 points at this stage. So which means if we're going to finish on 22, we only can drop a maximum of 7 points. So it's going to be really, really tight. But I'm still optimistic. What happened in the next game against Honduras will determine whether or not we're going to qualify. So if we leave Honduras defeated, I'm almost certain that it's going to go downhill from there. So that's my overall take. But I don't think the team played that badly. First half could have been better. But I think the connection between the midfield and the forward was our problem tonight. And then the few chances that we have, that we had, we didn't get to put them away. Well, we didn't put them away. So that's my overall assessment of tonight.
Yeah, I think Shane mentioned that Blake looked injured. I think I mentioned on the telecast that he was bending over. So I'm not sure if he's injured, but maybe give another player a chance. It seems like players drop out and players step in. That's why you have a big squad, and hopefully
Yeah,
Dylan Barnes has the
I think
capability.
I think it
Yeah.
took something
Yeah, it looks
because
that way.
I think he was favoring his foot because he hold it and he was squeezing it up and so maybe it's his foot. That's why he wasn't taking
Well,
those
maybe it's a good thing he's not
those
kicking the
goal
ball
kicks.
out anyway. Maybe he kicks the ball
Yeah,
too long and he injured himself
that's why
kicking the ball
Adrian
long.
Marappa was taking those goal kicks.
Yeah, he needs to play. He needs to do a better job of finding
Yeah.
his players when he takes goal kicks or when he's trying to play the ball out. He has
Yeah.
to work on that. I know he's still seasoned professional, but he has to do a better job. Going
Anyway,
deep, the ball
gentlemen,
is just coming back.
I'm gonna go back to family. So
All right,
Okay.
Devon.
You
Well,
know.
enjoy your
Happy
Thanksgiving, Devon.
Thanksgiving.
yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah,
We'll
and
try
you
to
don't
get
have to
there.
you don't have to get ragged at work tomorrow. You won't get that.
No, I'm
Jocelyn
off tomorrow. I won't go to work tomorrow. Tomorrow is really the Thanksgiving, but we have our dinner from today.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man. See you. Okay.
But Stan, one of my concern is why is it every time we get a goal kick we have to bang the ball upfield, and 60% of the time the opposition win the 50-50 ball. I'm not seeing us playing the ball from the back more often, so that's a big concern of mine.
You know, MP, can I
Yeah.
just come in, Stan? Because
Go
Stan
ahead.
and I were talking about this before. But I mean, to be honest with you, I agree to 100% that that's what we need to do, to play the ball out of the back and be more confident that we can do so. But I think that it is very worrisome to Blake, right, when he sees the ball enter the midfield and it gets turned over, or he makes a pass. For instance, he made a pass to Haka, and the ball run past Haka and him turn the ball over, right? Or he made a ball. I think he muted Cranky.
Neo, he made a bad pass to Haka. Because we know Haka can't run more than 2 feet in a certain amount of time. Haka has to get the ball on his feet. He can't get the ball in space. You see Haka running and puffing. He plays position defense really well, but you can't get the ball to Haka when you don't have room to pass the ball.
Yeah, but as long as the players on the field are not moving, the off the ball movement is horrendous. You understand? They're not opening up outlets for passes. I'm just saying that, I can understand sometimes why Blake's instinct is to kick the ball long, because it just seemed to me like, he's like, oh my gosh, um, they're gonna lose the ball. The problem with it though is he kicks the ball long, the ball gets turned over anyway, and seconds later, he has to be saving some shot or something like that. So I don't know what the solution is. I kind of do have a little part of the solution, and I mean I feel like beating myself for saying this, MPEG, but the truth of the matter is most of the players don't look comfortable on the ball. And the one player who looks comfortable on the ball to receive it and turn and look for a pass is Maggie. Most of the
Um,
times, the
Now
players get the ball,
Ravel is also complete.
and Ravel,
Yeah.
That's true.
it
Yeah.
reminds me of when I was managing a football team for Burger King when I was living in the Cayman Islands. Every time we put the ball upfield, it came back at us, because our team was it's first time we were entering the competition, but we didn't have quality players. So if we are not able, the Reggae Boys are not able to play the ball from the back, it means something to the quality of the players that we have. So it's either we get better quality players, or we try to fix that. But we cannot have a team that want to go to the World Cup and you're afraid to play the ball from the back.
Right, and I can't imagine that it really is an issue of quality, because the players are quality. There are quality players out there on the field. I mean, certainly better quality than players in the past. And I'm not talking about 98. We've had other Jamaican teams since then who have been able to play the ball out of the back. I think there's an issue of confidence, right? I think there's also an issue of, it just seemed to me, lack of cohesion, the lack of gelling. I mean, that's a big part of it, right? But the fact of the matter is that I remember Renee Simoes saying, and that's, we're always talking about Renee Simoes, but I remember him saying, we need off the ball movement. When I look at the players on the field, they're static. They're waiting for the ball to be passed to them. When they get the ball, their back is to the teammate. And so sometimes when them turn, is an opposing player run up into them. And Fisher, you know what, he grew into the game, but he it's something that I see him do, which is why I'm upset with him sometimes. They pass the ball out to him, and by the time him turn or he glances, he sees somebody coming at him, he passes the ball back to Blake. And then by that time, everybody is closing down on Blake. So Blake have to try and get the ball out long, or be worried that somebody going to get the ball off and put on score. So, this is something that needs to be addressed. I don't know if it's something you can just address in the dressing room. Um, but you're right, because it's not only an issue for getting the ball up, from the goalkeeper, but that same issue is also true when you move from the midfield to the forwards, because what we have is, we don't have somebody distributing the ball to the wings, right? We get the ball in the midfield, and then maybe there's some ball, a ball is booted up, or maybe Taxi might square the ball. But yeah, the team is deficient in that area.
View here that, well, I think the person is saying Jamaica does not have, or George Doug is saying, I should say, not the person. Jamaica does not have any creative midfielder to play the ball from defense to midfield and to the 18-yard box. For the last 10 years, I don't see a good creative midfielder in the Jamaica team. Is it creative midfielder or just midfielders, period? Because think about it, we've been complaining about CDM since Austin stopped playing, right? Have we ever a dominating CM or dominating CAM or dominating CD? I mean, think about all the midfielders we have had. Do we have any dominant midfielder who's a standout, who's exemplary, who can say this player holds the midfield together, progress the ball really well, is comfortable in possession, can see a pass? We don't really produce. We have forwards who can score goals. We have the Ricardo Fullers of the world who can score goals and who are good players.
But Cranky,
if we talk, go ahead.
But didn't we have what's his name?
German Hugh.
German Hugh.
Yeah, but German Hugh is McGee reincarnated.
Or McGee's German Hugh reincarnated. But
yes, McGee's German. Yes, sorry, McGee's German.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think German Hugh had a little bit more quality than McGee.
No, look, Germany is a brilliant pass. I mean, I've seen Germany play in the league here in the over 30 or 40 league. Germany still has the touch, but Germany, just like McGee, didn't play defense.
And he had some wicked free kicks as well, Germany.
Yeah, no, Germany's a quality footballer, but his defense side is like an Ozil type. McGee, the Ozils, the Germans, brilliant going forward, doesn't give you enough in defense. It makes it challenging, right? But Germany's a very good player, still a very good player, frankly, even at this age.
Cranky, if you're going to say that Ozil is that luxury midfielder that is more similar in style to the way McGee seems to want to play, right? Who is the best example of the other type of creative midfielder who doesn't need to take on players and beat them, but they're able to make those incisive passes and those through balls? Because the fact is that it seemed like in Jamaica we're still obsessed with Brazil. But not even Brazil play Brazil football anymore. They're a lot more efficient, right? And I don't think that has permeated the Jamaican imagination yet. And so I think that's a reason why too we're not creating that type of player, because seriously, the midfield is an engine, right? And if you don't have that engine, the car going brought down, and that's what's been happening to us. And it's not a matter of looking pretty.
Yeah, I mean, look, quality midfielders, and I don't think are a dime a dozen, but if you think about teams that have quality midfielders, think about Man City, for example, with a Silva or De Bruyne. Play both ways. The one thing about Man City, if you can't play both ways, you can't play. That's why Aguero struggled when Pep took over. You have to play both ways, right? Think about creative midfielder can play the ball through the lines. Fernandes from Man U, for example, but he doesn't play much defense either. He gets covered because they use two CDM, I'm sorry, not two CMs, two CDM to cover up for his deficiencies. Or else, you know what? Or even if Pogba, who doesn't play a lot, who likes to play beside Kante, Pogba is somebody who can play both ways. Not great defensively, but can see a pass that no one else can see, right? Just like Ozil could. So they're not a dime a dozen, but we got to figure out a way. How can we develop our players? Spain has a bunch of midfielders, like the Busquets, who can do both, right? He can play defensively. He can sit a pass. He's never pressured. Ravel has those qualities. I mean, Ravel has a checkout pass, but Ravel doesn't feel pressure. Because they're always in a position where they lay the ball off, they pick the ball back again, they lay it off, they pick it back up. They see a pass here. You running around them all day. He does it so
effortlessly. Yeah.
Effortlessly. They learn how to move without the ball and to move with the ball without even need to beat you to be able to do that. So, but I wouldn't say they're a dime a dozen, frankly. But as the comment said, we haven't produced that person in midfield who's a stalwart, who, you know what? Physical presence, skillful, and can put a foot in. We haven't done that. And the question is, and someone mentioned before, which is we have to improve our coaching. We really need to improve our coaching because the coaching is not where it needs to be. If you have good coaching, you can't develop good players. It just doesn't happen. We develop good defenders, we develop good forwards, because some of those things are almost like natural ability. But the midfield is the brain of the organization. That's where the brain is. It's not necessarily a center half, it's the middle of the park. Like we see Grant doing. You organize the defense in the middle of the park. You're trying to give instruction to your forward. You're helping your center back into what they're doing. And that's why Grant is flourishing, even though he's advanced age. I'm going to call him that. Because he's really well organized. He has a lot of experience, and he exercises that experience in a very good way. I'm getting a lot of feedback from one of you. One of you guys are getting a lot of feedback, but I'm not sure if somebody can mute them. Yeah, maybe. Is that you, Neil?
Yeah, it might be me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not an issue. So what's the person? So Kendall is saying, Kendall Mercury, to play out from the back, you need to work on patterns of play. You need players who can execute the technically under pressure. You need movement, therefore you'll need players who are super fit. Yeah, and look, I think playing out from the back is not an old phenomenon. It's actually probably a newer phenomenon because most teams, unless you played Dutch football back in the 70s, who were total football, most people are not comfortable. Playing out from the back is now playing with the keeper. Keepers were just a person who stopped the ball from going to goal. They weren't expected to be part of the possession that you're trying to achieve. But people are realizing in football that when you have the ball, the other team can't score. So if all your 11 players can keep the ball, and that's why Spain has a tiki-taka that they use really, really well, and you can dominate. Even if you don't score in the game, the other team can't score, and by the way, you're tiring them out. You want to keep the ball. Spain does that brilliantly. No matter who they put on the field, and I said before, they have 2,700 plus A-licensed coaching on the European standard. There, A-licensed coaches. Then you have a bunch of coaches in your community, in your country, in your community who can actually give you really good coaching. They're certified coaches, they're qualified coaches, and can develop you during the fundamentals early and even the more advanced skills. So if we have natural athletic ability, that's indisputable. How do I take that, nurture that, culture it, allow it to foster and grow by giving them the skills that they need to play as footballers? And right now, the only very good, we don't have any world-class players. We have a very good player in Bailey, but if you take Bailey out the mix and maybe Blake in goal, even though his ball skills are not good, who else would you say is a very, very good player on a world-class level? Because when you're world-class football, you're in a Messi's camp, right? Bailey's not world-class. He's a very good footballer. So who else do we have that's locally developed and locally based who falls in that category? Not English-based, not English-born players. Or not English-born, I shouldn't say English-based. I can't think of one.
Yeah. I mean, none that have distinguished themselves in the team so far.
And if you think about players who've gone to England to play, so if you think about Ricardo Gardner, Ricardo Fuller, we haven't exported a lot of players at the highest level either. So if we're dominant in track and field, and people take track and field and equate it to football, they're two different disciplines. Because I don't see a ton of track and fielders who are footballers, frankly. And frankly, the track and fielders, you can develop yourself to be a great sprinter, or even distant running. I don't necessarily have the best coaching, right? Coaching helps quite a bit in any form of sport, but it's harder in football to do that. It can happen, but it's harder to do it. Much harder.
I agree. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I see a lot of people still saying, and people are still talking about Tapa, and I agree with them, but I also want to say that, the whole Tapa situation, his coaching deficiencies, whatever they may be, are exacerbated by the conduct of, GFF and the poor, administration, the poor organization, the poor logistics. But Tapa, we should also remember that Tapa's coaching deficiencies, again, I think this is the third time I'm making this point. There is a rift in the Reggae Boyz team, and Tapa is playing his loyal players, right? And we said, well, those are the players who are going to follow his instructions. That rift, that relationship is inhibiting, I believe, Tapa from performing better. And if he can't put that out of the way, right? If he can't put out of the way, he's not going to make much progress. And frankly, at this point, none of us, I can't blame anybody for wanting to see Tapa go. But, various people are saying, well, there's no money to pay him. Somebody said that he was all paid up though, and he could go
Yeah, Manning's
tomorrow.
man said he's been fully compensated. Well, he's not all paid up, because all paid up means you satisfy his contract. He's paid up to this point, so there's no back owed money. But he's not, obviously he has a contract for until what, Qatar next year, so he has to be paid through that period. It's a contractual agreement to be able to do so. Look, I would say that I'm not into Tapa out tonight. I'm focused more on other things. I'm not into JFF out tonight either, even though, as you know, I think the JFF has been, let me be nice and say the JFF has not done well. MPEG, no bad vibes tonight. MPEG, your perspective, MPEG. The floor is yours.
On JFF or the
And anything in general, JFF, the players, the coach, but we're not going to gaslight tonight. We're not going to hear and just keep on bashing the coach. Because, look, we have talked about this ad nauseum on this program. On the coach, his capability, the JFF, here I go saying this, their ineptitude, their ineptness, their lack of planning, their just disregard for normalcy and how you operate, how executives should behave, how you run a board. We've talked about this ad nauseum. That's not about tonight. Tonight's about the football, what we have done, our perspective going forward, what we need to do. The 8 missing players that Teddy mentioned, I also mentioned other potential players like a Demari Gray who we could bring in. Should we go out then and say, you know what, forget about this, us versus them, diaspora versus local, get the players, find a way to convene them, find a way to engage them, operate as if every game is the last game, and put your best team on the field and try to go out and win those games. Because frankly, as everyone is saying, even within CONCACAF, the pool of players we have is a very good pool. We have never had them play together. We haven't seen a Stewart play. We had Antonio for one game. Thing don't work out well. Anthony Grant has never played with Ravel. Ravel has only played one game. We could go on and on about this, right? Bailey hasn't played any game because he's been injured. So we have had the best players to select from. And that goes to the coach who has not had the best players to select from. So how do we find a way to, at least in the next window, try to get our best players and pick the best 11 to give us the best chance? And the best 11 may not be your best players. It's who fit into your system and who fit into the position and who could coalesce best with the team. How do we do that?
I think let me not say we. I think what the JFF need to do is to have some serious discussions with the clubs, because a part of the problem lies within the clubs. So call like a Western United, have a serious discussion, know what is expected of them, and so forth. So there can be no surprises. So if there's a window and we have a clear understanding, if the players call up, then there should be no logistics problem or anything like that. Another thing in going forward, I think we're short on 3 critical areas. We need a genuine top class right back. We also need another number 10, and we need a backup or a competent CDM, because it would appear that Kevin Stewart is injury prone and we might not have him any at all. So we need someone else to partner Grant. It's clear that we're not going to get Isaac in, so we need to shop around for another CDM. So if we have these 3 areas filled, I think going forward we can start winning games and winning them convincingly, because we have the strike force up front. It's just the thing about it, because we are short each game, what we keep on doing is playing players out of position in order to compensate for the deficiencies. So if we have everybody in their natural position, then without any shadow of a doubt, I know that we can start winning some games. So the JFF need to act fast because we don't have the luxury of time in order to get these areas filled, and so that the coach can know who he has to work with. Speak to the clubs, like I said, have a clear understanding that we need these players once they are not injured to come and represent their country. Have a talk with the players. If they are not fully committed, then we move on to somebody else who we know is fully committed. And as I said, if we have Damari Gray playing on the other side of Bailey, they know each other very well. It could be a very potent attack right there with Mikel Antonio in the middle.
Yeah, Claudia, I am hungry. I don't know what that glow you're talking about is, but I am hungry. It's like my face is shining, my head is shining. All right, talking about my comments, which are positive, because we always can be negative, right? We have been negative enough, not trying to be negative, but we have been trying to be as factual as we can be given the information that we have and about the optics that we're seeing about how the JFF has operated, how TAP has operated. So we bash them when they need to be bashed. Should we bash them tonight? Yes, I think we should be beating the Canada side because they weren't that good. But at the end of the day, we didn't lose. And when you are in the doldrums and you have an outcome which may not be what you want, but it's not totally negative, then you have to glow. So if I'm glowing, I'll keep hoping we can glow much longer when we go play Honduras and play in the next window in November. Hope the glow continues.
And speaking of Honduras, my question:
I think
what happens? What happens about the
Neil? You're breaking up, Neil. The internet is breaking up. Go again, Neil.
I'm so sorry. Yeah,
you just froze away.
Anyhow, I'm just saying.
Keep going. Yeah.
What about the yellow cards that we picked up tonight? Is that going to impact the Honduras game for those players who picked up yellow cards?
I don't think anyone has two, right? I don't think anyone has two.
No, I don't think so.
I think that was probably Grant's
I don't
first
think
yellow,
so. I think it might be the first. It's certainly the first yellow card.
First for all three: Fisher, Grant, and Roof.
Yeah, I think two yellow cards is ridiculous though. This is not baby sport. Two yellow cards in
Cranky may have frozen. Am I right? No?
I'm frozen?
No, it's not.
No.
Two yellow card is the cost on Manning Cup football. Two yellow cards are ridiculous.
Yeah, Richard is saying coaches are responsible for ensuring that this doesn't happen by picking the best players available to form said team. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts are particularly poignant. Look, we have talked about this quite a bit actually, which is how do you source the best players and how do you get the best team on the field? Because sometimes your best 11 players, if you have two forwards who play the same position, you have to pick one of the two, not pick both. So you want to pick the best team to go on the field to get the best chance to win, and we have not always done this.
One of the good thing about the next game, Lowe will be back, so we have that extra man so that we can organize our defense a little bit better.
So right. Brandon is saying, I guess once again, Neil, I guess we're saying there's a post-match interview, and Blake said in his post-match interview the camp is good. People on the outside can continue to speculate. Well, I'm not sure it's people on the outside. You'd be surprised how much intelligence we get about what's transpiring in the camp, around the JFF. And frankly, we even hear you, Blake, saying about the lack of commitment by the British-based born players. So you're part of the challenge. You're part of the problem. You need to become a leader, and leaders lead by example. Leaders manage. It's not about what you do sometimes. It's sometimes how you do it. So if I tell Neo he's ugly, we're saying Neo, you need to enhance your appearance. That's received different by the person receiving that information. One is trying to destroy their confidence, make them feel bad. The other says, you know what, I can take it. It's milder, it's euphemistic. So yeah, maybe I need to improve how I look, and I can go look and see in the mirror what I look like. But if you're trying to destroy something, if you say they're not committed, you're creating a rift between yourself and those players. And you're drawing lines, and I'm not sure if that was your intention, but you did it. And you've been around for a while. You're the captain. I'm not taking you to task. I'm just saying you got to do better. You, the coach who says the same thing, all those coaches, Craig Butler, who now come around to say support British-based players, he said the same thing. All those coaches, Mr. Powell last night, or Orville Powell said the same thing. All you guys who are in senior leadership position, and I say this a lot of times, are being divisive. I don't care what you say. I need to change the narrative and trying to break up, but bring together. If you want to bring together, then act like it. Act like leaders. Not everything you can say in public that you may be feeling. You may feel it, but you can't say certain things in public. It doesn't resonate well. It doesn't help. Unless you're helping, don't say negative. Now, I guess you may say, you guys are negative on this forum. Are you guys trying to help? We're pointing out what we see. Now, if we can afford to do it because we're YouTubers. Now, you may say you should be responsible also. Yes, and we're imagining that. We're not there yet. But your leadership positions that you have doesn't afford you or allow you to say certain things. It just doesn't. It happens in every company, any large organization, and it also happens in football administration and football management. Sorry, maybe, go ahead, Empek.
But maybe Stan, maybe he's having a change of heart now. Why he's saying these things? Because that comment was said several months ago. So maybe he's coming around now to embrace the UK-born players.
But Empek, if I say you're not committed, 4 months down the road doesn't change anything, right? And first of all, how do I know you're not committed? I haven't spoken to you. I don't know what your perspective is. I don't know your situation. You're speculating. You're trying to figure out, based on some decisions that are made, how I am. But if I personally decide to play for you, there's a commitment there to play for you. So he says he's going to play for you, and he comes to play for you. He flies 9 hours to come play for you. Not everyone can afford to do certain things, given facts and circumstances. Hayden say he's not committed. He can't come. Hayden is not committed and say he's not coming. If I decide to play for you, then I'm committed to playing for you. That's why would Roof come to play for us? Why is Marapi here all the time? Why was Wes Morgan come? Why did Fitzroy Simpson come if they weren't committed? I don't get the narrative.
Yeah, and I just want to add, sorry, I'm not appearing. My internet giving me some issues, but let me just add this quickly. When we talk about a rift, it's not just bad vibes in the camp that we're dealing with, right? Because that is something that can be fixed, or that's something that's temperamental. We see the guys, having icebreakers, people DJing, people laughing with each other, right? But that's not necessarily the thing that is affecting the camp the most. The rift that we're referring to is when the coach select him team, that sometimes he appears to be giving preference to certain players who are supposedly loyal to him or who are local born, even when that player has not been performing, right? And there are other players there who, have been performing at their clubs, other players who play in leagues where they're challenged more on a day in, day out basis. Frankly, other players who are not even playing football, right? And who are, over the hill. You understand? And so therefore, when we're talking about the rifts, we're not just talking about, if somebody not talking to this guy and this guy don't like that guy or whatever, right? And even the fight. Sometimes people have fights inside of, alleged fights in the camp. That happens from time to time. But the rift is now also impacting team selection, right? And it is definitely getting in the way of the team being a cohesive unit on the field. What it is also doing, Tapa is being nostalgic, right? Tapa wants to recreate the success from the goal.
Nia, we're losing you. I think your internet is getting really bad, actually. I wonder what happened to Coach. Coach must live a country, because I think from driving from Empek, how long does it take to drive from Kingston to Montego Bay nowadays? Given the highway, it's about 2.5 hours.
Could be about 2 hours with the highway.
So Coach must be brought down our last then, because you don't live in Montego Bay, you don't live that far down, so we don't know where Coach there. I don't know where Minzy disappeared to. Minzy was supposed to be here a little while ago, but he's probably still on his way home actually.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, I know people think that I'm being. It appears I'm being supportive of Tapa because I'm talking about Tapa a lot, but look, I don't think it's about the coach for today's game. I think it's probably more around what transpired and how optimistic are we when we think about the next game in Honduras, and even more so the qualifiers in November. I think Honduras is going to be a tough task, playing away from home, where Low comes back. Low comes back, but we're still challenged. We don't have any more Alvas, and sometimes you have a player and you're not happy with him, and then you realize you have less because you don't have to play at all. But I think others should step up. And next man up is the whole situation now. Javan Brown has to step up, and he should be given a chance now because he hasn't been given a chance. It seems like though, Neil, that the coach is very relied on. He's relying on a lot on what I call tried and tested, the people he has done battle with, and those are the ones he's bringing to his camp and wants to operate with.
Right, but the team that he had back then for the Gold Cup that gave him the success, other teams have improved, right? So everybody has grown, and what he's doing is refusing to grow. And unfortunately, it's not only him, but the conduct again we're getting negative. So all I'm saying is, don't simply say when Blake says that people on the outside merely saying this. I think that he himself needs to do some self-reflection. No disrespect, Blake, because in my book, sir, you're a great captain and a great player. But the question I want to ask is, right? Are we putting the best 11 on the field? Right? Is that what we're doing, or are we trying to recreate something that Tapa believes is going to work because it worked in the past? The future is here, and the future is that we have to find a way to integrate these players, add English, know-how to Jamaican flair and aggression. That is the formula Samoa's use, and that's the formula we should be trying to achieve, not some nostalgic thing from some Gold Cup.
So wait. So Cataract is in this studio. Should I let him in? I should just lock him out of the door. Make him sleep out that door. Should I make him sleep out that door? See, I control it now, So you have to wait. But you see now? You see it? You have to win with humility, but you ain't lose anyway, no matter. Me idea. Come in. Let me unmute you. Are you muted? Hey, hold up.
Neil, I think you're correct. I think he's relying on how he got past success and not realizing that the football in the region has transitioned. So if you still keep on to do the old things that you normally do, it will get away from you seriously.
So Cataract, can you hear me? You're not coming in well. You haven't paid your phone bill. Can you hear me? I can see you, but your stream is awful. Cataract, can you hear me? Or are you feeding your face? I don't know if Cataract, I can't hear you, Cataract. Are you speaking? He drop off. His Cataract's feed is not great actually. Hopefully, you can log back on Cataract. Because we do want to hear your views. You're at the stadium with Coach. Coach hasn't arrived yet, but would love to get your perspective on the game, your views, what transpired, and projection going forward. So hopefully Cataract will join us. He just tried a while ago, but fell off. Sorry, Neil, you were saying before you got cut off, actually. Sorry.
I was just saying that Tapa seems to be a little bit nostalgic, right? And it dovetails with the whole rift in the team. He's trying to create that team that really did well for him in the Gold Cup. But other teams have advanced. Football has changed. And frankly, you can't have new assets at your disposal. And, because of the rift, you're refusing to utilize them, And so the sooner that problem is aired and ventilated and dealt with and not swept under the rug and ignored, the sooner we deal with that problem is the sooner we can start make some progress. But these efforts to try and make it look like just because we can DJ some song together and dance in the locker room, that is not what matters here. What matters is whether or not the team trusts the coach and the coach trusts the team. And if that rift exists, there is no trust.
Yeah, the question though is, Neil, is that you've heard the coach come out when he was asked a question about the English-based players. First of all, he doesn't talk to them. That's Paul Hall, which makes no sense to me. You're the coach. I've never heard a coach not talking to the players unless they can't speak the language. And even then, they talk to them through translators, right? That doesn't make sense. Second, when he was asked a question about the commitment of Jamaican players, he wasn't ambivalent. He didn't hesitate. He was very explicit. They will die for the team. When he got the question about the British-based players, and I know this seems to be going to a negative direction, he didn't exhibit that same perspective. In fact, he gave a laugh and said he couldn't answer the question, which answered the question without answering the question. He needs to lead, and he needs to get rid of his parochialism that he exhibits and lead everyone, not lead some people. If you're a leader, if you're the coach, you manage everyone at your disposal. You assess all your players and make informed decisions about those players' contribution to your team as a collective, as a team, which builds unity, which builds chemistry, which builds credibility. He doesn't really do that. So apart from his coaching acumen on the field, there's a man management element to you. Most managers nowadays in football are not doing the coaching on the field. No. They're managing the players. They're managing the egos. They're managing the situation. They're managing the game plan. They're not on the field telling you to run and jockey and play the ball in between the lines. They have other people who do that. Their job mainly is managing and leading the entirety of the body that they have at their disposal and who they're responsible for, not leading some and creating division when you should be trying to stamp out division. You're part of the division yourself. That makes no sense to me. So the hope is that he will learn and change.
And the
so we're
players,
not too old to change. Go ahead,
look,
Neil.
the one player that seems to have been able to navigate that rift and be welcomed is Anthony Grant. And he has been very successful coming into the team, right? The question I have is what is it that is different about Anthony Grant? Why he's able to, get around that rift, and what's different about the other guys? To some extent, I mean, I'm not quite sure what it is. I guess maybe they're going to say, well, Anthony Grant came and he performed, but Roof came and Antonio came, but they didn't score the goals that we expected them to score. I'm not quite sure what it is. I mean, do you guys know why Anthony Grant seems to be able to transcend that rift, especially when he came in so much controversial circumstances, right? We had the technical director say that he was too old. We had people critical of Grant, but he still was able to come in and seems to fit in right away, not only in the locker room, but on the field.
So
and
I talked about before, which is it goes to one's disposition, right? He seems to be a very humble person, a very engaging person, someone who functions well as part of a collective. Secondly, there's nothing like performance to change the narrative. If I come in and you perform and you blend in, then we're going to accept you, right? No matter where you come from. If you have the same common objective. And he seemed to have done that really well. And actually, given how much negativity was surrounding him before he came in, it's almost like he overachieved, right? So you have a negative view of me. I'm old. I don't have certain attributes I play in League Two. And you hear me in the debate, give him a hard time, compare him to Stewart and Cousins. And you come in and you're nothing like what would have been expected. You exhibit composure. You have the football acumen and intelligence that's needed. You are always well positioned. You provide instructions on the field. You're exhibiting all those attributes that a leader exhibits, and you're not rah rah. You're not out there beating your chest, right? You're doing it. You're very humble in terms of how you approach things. You probably also got some intelligence from sources we're trying to bring you in to prepare you to what environment you're getting into. So you're well prepared, coupled with you have certain attributes about you, which allows you to blend the team environment. Those things are imperative and required for you then to be accepted. So you can navigate the area, you understand negotiation, and you're also older. So when you're older, like a Watson, you hear that Watson is also a conciliator, is a person who works well with people, bring the team together. So you have two old heads, or I'm should say seasoned heads, in the middle of your park who are respected. One who came in gained respect. One has always been respected. It can only help the team to come together because some of the other folks who are also more seasoned, maybe not as seasoned as those folks, and I mentioned Blake as one, have not done the best job of bringing the team together. That should be Blake's job, which is, you know what? I have friends in the team. They may lose their position, but we have one goal, one objective. I'm going to work with the coach, even influence the coach about how to think, about how to operate, about to engage. But the coach doesn't have certain attributes he needs to have that allow us then to convene as a team and congregate as a team and operate as a team, and will reduce some of that negativity. Because if you're not functioning when we go on the field, Neo, you won't have success, right? We see that sometimes where talent loses out because people don't get along. And as I said previously to Cataract and to Coach, in every team I've been in, there are always cliques. So guys, think about teams you have played in, whether it's netball, football, basketball, there are always cliques. How do I break down those cliques? You want to have people to get together. You want people to have friends, but allow the clique to all connect. We're not vertical. We're not, we're not distributed. We're functioning as one unit, pulling in the same direction. You got to be able to do that. So, MPEC?
Yes, one other thing that Grant brought to the table is experience, because he has been with a number of professional clubs, and he started at Chelsea. They have a very good youth program. That's a very good foundation. So all this experience he has garnered over the years are coming to fruition. And you see, you have to have a mixture of youth and experience. And Mariappa, Grant, they provide, that amount of experience. And then you have a younger Low and Taxi who also, provide certain amount of experience. Um, there are some players that are there a long time but have not really grown, into what we expected, such as Fisher and company, Isaacs. They have not grown into the kind of players that we thought they would have grown into, and that is a little bit of bother to me, because when we need them most, we are expecting them to come on and give us 100% and be competent, and we're not getting that. Luckily for us that Fisher didn't do anything rash tonight, and we were able to come off with a clean sheet and a point. But we have to do some soul searching, and in terms of going forward.
So, Cataract alias Ohin Blake, because I reversed that Cataract, you notice that. I thought you were going to join the stream. If you can get on in the comment section, I'm sure you can come and provide your view on the panel, so those in the audience can get it real time.
By the way, he said he's with the players in the lobby.
So
right. So
it's socializing. As a member of the media.
Yeah, it would be good if he could jump on a bit. Let me hear some views from some of the players.
That would be good. That would be good. If we could hear from the players and also hear from Mr. Ohin Blake. Well, I should say Cataract alias Ohin Blake, because Nobody knows you as Ohin Blake. Your name is Cataract here and henceforth. But no, I think we have all talked about the challenge of the team numerous times. I think hopefully the players will get some encouragement from today's result, even though they may have wanted to win, and realize that they're better off when they work together collectively versus are separate and not operate as one
Let's
team.
bring the comment section in the stream a little bit. Can you run over some of the comments to see what they're saying?
Now, I'm actually reviewing the comments. Some of them are, I'm using my word negative, so you see me reluctant sometimes to push them up. But I have gone through them. Fisher didn't grow through any academy. It shows the way you play. Yeah, but not everyone grows through an academy that don't play well. Now, you have some players who are discovered late in their career. They discovered in League, League Two. They discovered in National League in the UK, as an example. Are players who someone views, see them playing local football in local teams and bring them through. And those normally are exceptional players. You do need a structure. You do need an environment which you can sort of grow in. We don't agree with that.
Yeah, strong foundation.
Yeah, you need a strong foundation. Definitely. I think Richard is saying here, I guess he's talking about Tapa. He has shown that he's unwilling to change. Football has evolved and continues to. Other teams have evolved. The teams are not doing well in the standings, has the longest tenured coaches. The teams, that's an interesting point. The teams that are not doing well has the longest tenured coaches. Is that teams or team? You're talking about us? Because Tapa has been with us for a total of what? In total, about 13 years, with a break in the national head coach for a little while. I'm not sure what other teams are out there, Richard Reed, who you think are not doing well in the standings, but have the longest tenured head coach. And as we talked about before, even though Orville last night, Mr. Powell didn't agree, I'm not sure that the JFF has the resources to go change coach. And Orville, like Cataract, and Cataract was feeling all happy yesterday, mentioned getting Sam Allardyce, who's to coach a bunch of teams, and also coach England for about a couple of days. I'm not sure we can afford Sam Allardyce, both financially and otherwise. Even though he would come in, be objective, be unbiased, get rid of the politics, try to get the best players, no matter where they reside in the world, like Simonis did, try to blend them and have them perform well. But that's a little bit late for now. We have to go with what we have, and we hope that we'll get more positive results, namely a win, because we haven't won in the first 5 games, and it's getting desperate. We have to get a win at some point. We can't keep going like this, and we have to get the win at least in the next 2 games. I know we have 1 game left in this window, but we can really revisit how we're operating in the next window and try to make sure we go guster all out. Because I think in this window, it's very difficult given the injuries and unavailable players. So much more difficult to do.
Yeah, so I looked at some of the Honduras game, right? Honduras look very physical. They have a crop of young players on their team. I think most of the experience or age is, I think, their center back, a little bit in their defense. I think there is one Honduran player, I don't know his name. Maybe the people in the chat know, maybe you guys know, who is, I think he's in the MLS, a forward who, seems to be a pretty good player. But one of the things that's curious about Honduras is it's a lot of sound and fury, but I'm not quite sure how effective they are as a team. So we played Canada tonight. It was not their best team, right? But it was an improved game from us. So, Empek, do you think, how do you assess our chances versus Honduras? I mean, I know a lot of people say, well, it's held down there. The fans are crazy. Them throw this at you and they throw that at you. But frankly, we're going to have to find a way to tune all of that stuff out. But do you think that we have a better chance of beating Honduras than we had of beating Canada tonight?
A lot lies within our midfield. if we can pick the best set of players available to start in that midfield, that could be the telling decision whether or not we come out with a victory. The fact that Lowe is coming back as well would be an asset to the defensive unit, right? So we probably can play low with Mariapo. We have Taxi on the left, and maybe we can have looking at Javine Brown on the right to see how he fits in. But a lot of it lies within the midfield because there's no doubt about it. We have enough forwards, right? We have the Lows, the Gray, we have Nichols and company. So once we have a set of midfields who can provide their service to the players, I think we can come off with a victory. Because to be honest, Honduras is good defensively, but they are not one of the strongest team offensively. But if we don't stand up in defense, they can also hurt us. So once we can stand up in defense and our forwards get proper services, then we can come off with a victory.
So Tevin Campbell is saying, look at right now. If Jamaica is scouting players, they should scout from the Premier League to League One because it is in League One Grant is playing and is really playing well. Yeah, look, I do think we shouldn't turn our nose up at any leagues. I would prefer, though, that at this point, we're only scouting players who play at the highest level. So,
Premier
yes, we
League.
found Grant in League Two, but Grant,
Grant will be considered as a diamond in the rough. So it's not a open door. Say, boy, we can go to League One. It's just a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, when they have players who play well in the championship in League One and Two. So, for example, Calvin Phillips, who played at Leeds, was in the championship for a while, right? And actually wanted to play for Jamaica, is my understanding. Just like Antonio wanted to play for Jamaica way back when. Just like Godfrey wanted to play Jamaica way back when. We have all these players who are now stand out in the Premier League who want to play for us. And we have this mindset about not sourcing those players, bring them into the program, and have them become stalwarts in the program. If we had Calvin Phillips in the middle, we'd be talking about a CDM. Right? Even a Calvin Phillips and a Ravel, I can speculate, I can wish, we would be in a really good situation if those players are committed, given what is being said, some of these coaches. But we would be in a very good spot, actually, as a country, to having quality players who can compete at all levels, not just in CONCACAF, but at all levels. So we need to think about the strategy we want to employ going forward, about how we source players, bring them to the program. I do understand the dilemma of want to develop local players, give them access, give them opportunity, allowing them to flourish and to get the exposure they're looking for. But we got to figure out a way to marry the two, but we can't do it at the expense, I'm going to call it the fans, because us as fans, we want positive outcome. We want to win. We want to go to World Cups and win tournaments. And you're telling us we have to sacrifice for those players in the local players to get there. But the problem we're running into is it's been 23 years now since we have made the last World Cup. Whatever strategy we're employing is not working. So either you change what you're doing to allow you to get the players to play well, or you go source players who weren't born in Jamaica, who you know have been developed really well, and help the country move forward, regardless if you think what their commitments entail. Because right now, the local players, frankly, are not where they need to be to get us where we need to get to.
Yes, and if I may add, in terms of League Two and League One, we can scout players from those leagues, but not on a wholesale basis. If we're getting a player from League Two or League One, those players have to be heavily recommended. Grant was or highly recommended. Grant was highly recommended, so it's not a matter of we are just going to look in League One or League Two. I think the benchmark should be the Premier League and to a lesser extent the Championship.
Yeah, let me read this comment. We need ballers in the midfield. There was no creativity in the middle tonight, And without that, we'll be unable to break teams down. Ravel or McGee type of player is needed. Look, I think we do need more creativity. What we need more of throughout the entire team is the ability to retain possession, which we are atrocious at. Like it's years now we're saying this. And even some of the English-based players that who, when they play for their club teams, to do a better job of retaining possession, we have been able to do so. And I'm not sure because when you blend players, it doesn't work well. But even when we had the 8 English-based players who played against Panama, they weren't retaining possession. I think they had other challenges between the field and it was hot. Whatever those excuses are, doesn't stop me from holding the ball up and playing to the next man beside me. You see how well Grant does that? Grant can't even run, frankly. Grant is challenged moving forward, and yet he really loses the ball, really loses the ball. He always gets fouled. He's always shielding, and he always knows where the person is to pass the ball to, which are the basic fundamentals you need. So he retains possession well. Other players need to do the same. I don't think some of the capability to do so, and others don't exhibit when they play for Jamaica, which I'm not sure why that's the case.
How do we improve our midfield for the Honduras game?
Wow. With the players we have,
The players played today and the players that we have available in the 23-man squad. How do we improve the midfield?
So the midfield started out with Watson. We're getting a lot of feedback. Is that you, Neil? Getting a lot of feedback. So Watson and Grant started today. Two nursing home patients, but they played well. So even in nursing home, you can play. They both started today, and then we had Roof, who is at 9, playing as a cam, right? So people would say, well, McGee should play, and McGee's passing stat from the last game, I think, was in the 90s. So you can see he retains the ball really well. The problem with McGee is he gives you 0 defense. He doesn't give you the movement you need a lot of times to demand and come get the ball and do something with it, right? And you need that. And you also need to, so when you're playing with McGee, you're basically playing with 10 defenders or 9 plus the goalkeeper. That's hard to do in today's football. That's really hard to do because the talent is so close in today's football. You can't afford to have a weak link either going forward or coming back. Now, going forward, we have a lot of weak links. That's very obvious. But defensively, where you need to keep the score down or to not be scored on, it's very hard to do so with a player of McGee, who I believe is a very good player, very good passing range, very good at progressing the ball, has the ability, which we don't see a lot, of being able to turn in the midfield and then create mismatches. Because if you're pressuring me, I can get a lot of pressure with just a dip of my shoulder, then you're scrambling. I think he did that against Costa Rica in the Gold Cup. Did against Costa Rica game. Maybe there's a theme in Costa Rica when they play against him. And it creates mismatches where you can dip, turn, then the defenders are chasing you, and then they're on the back foot. And then if you're going forward, put a lot of pressure on the other team. We don't have that in our midfield. DJ doesn't do that. I think Ravel has that ability, but we haven't seen enough of Ravel. And we see Ravel playing deep, which he does for Derby, but I think going forward, Ravel can even be more productive, actually. Because what Ravel does really well is create space, and he's much more mobile than Grant, which is what Grant does, but Grant is very slow in his ability to move. But he's a very, very smart player, and that gets exhibited every time he plays. He's had 3 games now. It's very hard, actually, to join a team, not be as mobile as you want to be, play 3 games, and have 0 criticism about your game, and be lauded, frankly. It's not about criticism. Be lauded about your play and how you're the boss when you were in the scrap heap and you're being denigrated and belittled and you're old and you play League 2. And yours truly was part of that group, not because I was knocking Grant, but when I debated Cataract. I didn't have a thing against Grant because I don't know Grant's ability. I see him on YouTube. I don't know him really well. But what I've seen from him is he's a very, very smart player. As you said, Neil, he's a leader, and you need leadership, especially with a group of players who can be dysfunctional at times, frankly. And we can't praise Grant enough because he's been a standout since he has played for the team, national team. And as Cataract said to me, he's losing money. So the JFF again about commitment. Every game he plays, he loses money because League 2 doesn't have the break that we have for the championship or for the Premier League because they still play during this window. They don't have those window breaks, so you get paid during the window. They don't have that. So kudos to Grant and what he's doing because you're contributing yeoman's work, and we appreciate your efforts, sir.
So
Well,
all right. So,
well, 34 is not that old, to be honest.
Sorry, MPEG. Sorry, in football, it's dog years. Don't watch Ronaldo, who doesn't eat, who only eats vegetables and work out like a beast. He's not the example.
Well, maybe Grant does the same
Look at
thing.
Wayne Rooney is more of the. It's not Wayne Rooney is not the example either, but Wayne Rooney was done before 34.
I think 38 is way too old, though. So I don't think Grant should be compared to Watson, because Watson is now 38. Grant is 34, and even Mariappa is now 35. So to be honest, I don't think 34 is that old. You're at the end part of your career, yes, but players usually go up to about 35 before they retire. So he's just about near retirement. So he's not at the nursing home stage as yet.
So I missed that question for you, Impact, before, which is, do you think Ravel would function in the number 10 role? I forgot who posted it, but I skipped out of it. Do you see Ravel? Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Although he's just a little bit better than Maggie in terms of the defensive, he's not that strong defensively either, but he is a little bit better than Maggie defensively. So I think he would do a little better job than Maggie in the number 10 position.
So here's the question Tevin is posing. I find this interesting, actually. I'm a little bit surprised, but I posted him. Jamaica need a better keeper than Blake because he can't pass the ball well, can only kick long. As a keeper, you must know when to pass short or kick long. What are your views on that? Empek shaking his head.
It all depends on what are the instructions from the dressing room. We don't know the instructions, and I was having a conversation with Blake the other day, and was reminding him that when he was playing house football for me at Glenmere, I had him playing forward. So he's very good at his feet. He didn't start out as a goalkeeper when he was in lower school at Glenmere before he went to Clarendon College. He started out as an outfield player, and refused to go in the goal because he was very, very short when he was in first form. you know, so he's very good at his feet. He used to score goals, so
Okay.
persons on the outside wouldn't know him, but I have known this young man for quite some time.
So we love that inside information, but people MPEC cannot be objective when it comes to Blake. So I'm gonna change the question. I'm gonna go to Neo because MPEC is conflicted. Seem to be Premier Jamaica because if he knows Blake from first come with him at Glenmore, then we can't ask him to criticize Blake. So Neo, your view on Tevin's comment about Blake. Blake is revered Jamaican community, give his accomplishment playing for Philadelphia and being a stalwart in their team and being a post in their team. Frankly, he's been there forever and he's played really well for them, and his contribution appreciated. So, what's your view on this view, which is today's environment? A keeper has to do more than prevent the ball from going to the goal. He has to be the 11th player on the field.
All right. So I mean, I agree with that last thing you just said, that a keeper definitely has to be more of a distributor of the ball and not just a shot stopper. What I find curious about Andre Blake is that Andre Blake has been with us for a while. I think he's been in 2 different Gold Cups, right? He's in this set of qualifiers. And so, when I think back, he has distributed the ball in previous campaigns. Or what I would say is him failing to distribute the ball has not, wasn't an issue in previous campaigns. And so, this is why, as MPEG said, I know your question is objectivity. It has, I wonder, does it have to do with instructions from the dressing room? As I pointed out earlier before, Is it that he is losing faith in doing it that way because he doesn't see that the team is able to string passes together, and so he's more willing to lob the ball long with the hope that somebody would catch on to the ball. I don't really believe it is that that he is, that we need a better keeper, that he has some inability to do it. I think that is an issue of confidence, an issue of instructions. Nevertheless, what I do see in this campaign, that I have not, well, Blake used to be a lot more vocal on the field. I remember in previous campaigns, Blake would be shouting instructions at the back line. He would be talking to people in the midfield, and he was one of the most vocal people on the field, right? And now I see him look a little bit withdrawn. I see that his relationship with some of the players, even on the field, to be honest with you, appear to be a little bit strained. And so, I still have a lot of faith in Blake, and I him not distributing the ball as much. As I said before, I think there are many factors which are affecting that. Do we need a better keeper than Blake? Find me one. Can anybody find me one? Tell me we're not going to find one, because I don't know of one of them. I think Blake is the best keeper in the MLS, right? The Americans said that their guy, what's his name? Kyle, can't remember him last name, that he's supposedly better than Blake, but that's not what the MLS people vote. Blake has been winning Keeper of the Year in every successive year. So, I don't think the issue is necessarily that Blake isn't a good keeper. I think there are other issues that are affecting his distribution of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, and look, it's a controversial point, but I raise it anyway because it's been brought up. I think in today's football, there's an expectation. You see that at Arsenal with Leno, as I mentioned previously, where no people didn't respect. Leno's a very good shot stopper, but his distribution is wanting. So they replace him with someone who can better distribute the ball, because some coaches' philosophy is we have to be able to retain possession, and it starts with the keeper. If I kick it long, here's the question for us actually, which is, how many of those balls that Blake kicks long do we get possession? Does anyone ever track that? So he kicks the ball long. Does it go to the opponent, or do we get to retain possession when he does that? And what's the percentage?
15% of the time. 15%.
So if that's the case, is that acceptable?
Or 20? No, it's not. 15 or 20%. It really isn't. I agree with that. But then the fact that he kicks it out long and we retain it either 15 or 20% of the time makes sense when you consider that we, for the entire game, have 36% possession.
Yeah. Well, so it adds to it, doesn't it? It adds to it, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly does, But I mean, it's curious.
So finally, wait. Right. Me say finally. First of all, Coach, welcome. Kerouac, welcome. Well, we welcome you to the stream. Wait. Let me see your starter. You let him come on the stream with your start already. But me give you permission to talk. I am controlling the stream. I recuse myself soon, but I'll say this. First of all, you're like a peony wall in my background. I don't know who that.
It's the ambiance. It's the Jamaican ambiance. It's meant to frighten the Canadians. But I just wanted to say nothing much. When you speak to me, address me properly. Cataract, the team starting lineup predictor. Boss, put some respect on my name. Last night.
Wait. You would have a lot of time to praise yourself, to beat your chest, to congratulate yourself. You get a lot of time to do that. So my internet start messing up.
You on the coach get a failing grade for picking Alvarez in the starting lineup when he's injured.
No, I didn't pick the team. I simply
remember Cataract said
I said to you that this would be the start. I can't get a failing grade. What I get is 100% grade as an investigative journalist.
Oh, Lord.
The newest members of the media fraternity, people had to make way for coach and myself, in the whole line that we take photographs of.
And
Players have
we
to
not
speak to us. Yeah, man.
Cataract and tell them say we not play with us. Go in and with us. Decide.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Ask the tough question.
yeah. And you see,
Yeah, man.
some of them wait till we go start talk to them, then come down to them camera. Oh my.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
So, okay, here is where I retire myself. Because coach, me I starve and coach, me not eat from. First of all, me not eat past 8 o'clock. And
Yeah.
tonight, if you eat past 8 o'clock, because me not eat since 5 o'clock my time or 4 o'clock my time, I have eaten, so I starve.
Wow.
And I know Cataract want his 3 hours because he gonna tell me I've been on for like 5 hours, so I should park myself. So I'll do exactly that. I'll stay up on the street, but I'll get some food. But coach,
Yeah, man.
welcome
Yeah, man.
back, and we'll love to get your Cataract perspective as
Yeah.
to what transpired today, both before, during, and after the game. So welcome, coach.
Yeah, man.
Run the show.
Definitely really appreciate Cranky's effort, for sitting in the seat and doing what he did today. And big up yourself, Cranky. I know you love the thing too, big up yourself. So you see the table is third,
Yeah, step out. Step out. Step out.
The table is turning, Cataract.
And the crankers can step out same time because it's team Cataract time. So the crankers, you had a lovely day. You are out.
I was asked to do a job. I was asked to do a job, and I tried my best.
I saw them in the comments.
Excellently done, Cranky. It was excellently done.
I saw them in the comments.
Yeah.
Claudia H. and Diane Baker and all the crankers. I saw them. Had a lovely time. Team Cataract in building on a fire up on herself. Boss there.
All right.
Yeah, man. It was a good vibe still with Cataract, Mannings man, and Mr. Speed. Yeah, it 4 way hang out, And
no. We sat next to each other. I don't want to spoil my media credibility. We sat next to each other and exchanged footballing thoughts.
Well, and police stop me, people. Yeah, they have checkpoints, because of the curfew. Man, them shine up them light and have them, And I say, I ask people. I was surprised to see so many persons on the road. I was surprised so many people were on the road. Honestly, one time I see the police them block off one section and about 20 meters down. You have a set of police doing the checks to see why these people were on the road. I just say, I said Jamaica match, me I come from. Man said Jamaica match. When that? Mr. Jamaica versus Canada. Here the police say, where you come from? Canada? Mr. Me laugh.
Hold on, a top of cousin. Big up Corporal with more.
Hey,
that's like how we kept it goalless in the first half. Kept it goalless up to halftime, but a goal scored in the first half.
Yeah, man, and the Arizona boss them deal with the thing, but as they ask, we just show them a media pass, and I was good to go.
Essential workers.
Yeah.
We bring the news to the people.
And Cataract, as a big up Cranky, I don't want to forget Neo, Neo was there with Cranky right through the watch along and then the post-match review. Neo, big up yourself. I appreciate it.
Respect.
Of course, the people says too much big words and speak is spoken for the program. They need it to break down.
I'm sure Cranky can
people spoke about the lack of patwa on the program. So Cataract is here now, people. All right, it's still the coach's desk.
Exactly. So we have to live up to a high standard, So
yeah, man. At the style and Cataract, at the style and the flavor, So guess what?
Oh no, you
kind
put
of big
some
word
patwa now.
Yeah, well, may I speak water all night, so but don't worry yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, man. But all in all, it's sorry. All in all, it was a a good experience. It's not the first time I've been to a match, but it's the first time in a media capacity, right? And the leverage that we had, it was awesome, because when I look on the card, we can got the feel when them a warm up with the out there, team room, tunnel, hospitality room, press and media area, gate and chant, grandstand, anywhere we want to go cataract. See, one time, we never have on a blue vest, because the media persons, the press, they had on a blue vest, because we never have on, like, at one given time, somebody wanted to stop us. And we just back out the thing, and then realize, they said, go. You understand? So it gave us a nice little feeling to know that we can move around without restriction. And we were able to talk to a few of the players. We spoke to Javian Brown, we spoke to Jamal Lowe, spoke to Javon Watson. And we asked him about him fitness and them things. So, you know, we asked him.
Coach almost asked about how you play there with the big belly. And he catches himself and said, let's have coach your fitness.
We spoke to
Coach, right now, hold on, Coach. Right now, Javon Watson, you can become a millionaire. Lots of ladies want to know if you lose the belly and bring it down. You need to just buckle up that thing the way I use. Marketing. Have your own channel. My belly gone down in it, not gone, you know, but they are Admiral Bailey and Beanie Man the one. No, man, Roger Sharp, don't run a joke. Man, you like a jersey would get you kicked out of there, man. You understand?
Yeah, but Coach,
big up to Auntie Bev, you know, the administrator over there at the GFF. Saw her tonight at the team hotel, you know, extended hospitalities to Cataract as a member of the media, you know, was able to sit in with the team, you know, the relaxed mode and thing. Players them are upbeat. I think they're glad to get a point. You know, it's been a rough time. Mariapa said, well, the first time a man not making in 15 years. But it's rough. It was rough out there. The heat, I think really around the British players, the heat was a factor to them. Grant saying it was hot. And it sapped his energy. But as it got cooler in the second half, it got a bit cooler. And he was able to navigate his way. Let me say the word, make it to the end, brother. But in the first bit, they said it was rough, it was hot. The grass hot, everything hot. It was, you know. Mexico is an altitude, so you know you don't feel that heat. And I think where we played in Costa Rica is near the sea, so you don't have that sea breeze. So all in all,
did you guys try talking to any of the Canadian players?
Yes, man.
The Canadian players spoke to us.
Yeah, man.
Just asking.
Two of them. I think Junior Oilet, right?
One is a French one. Henry.
Oh, okay. And then that
is
big
French Canadian and a big tall defender. Of course, we are the media. We are.
Just
all we do is just, can we have a quick word with you?
Yeah.
No problem. You understand?
And even though Javian Brown, I think he's such a professional as well. I walked up to him and said, Javian Brown, could you give us a minute, please? And him said, just a second, I'm going to talk to my teammate. Apparently, it was his teammate who played for
Cornelius.
Yes, so
Vancouver.
Vancouver Whitecaps, and they were there, and he acknowledged us and noticed that we were waiting, and him kind of cut him conversation short just to come over to us and talk to us. So that was he spoke so well. He's such a professional in my estimation. He's actually awaiting his time. He's been patient, even though the fans would have been calling for him. He's saying that he has to be patient. You know what I mean? And we didn't get a chance to talk to the gaffer. The only time we hailed him up was when he was passing to go on the bench, and the teams were coming out. heal him up and, you know. But Paul Hall is a friendly, nice fellow.
I also have to say thank you to the gaffer, aka Theodore Whitmore, invited me to enjoy a few, you know, a dinner, and he extended the invitation. Um, didn't go on the record, didn't go off the record, didn't go on camera. No, but he said the point is what he got, not what he wanted, but it's a kickstart. And they had a technical meeting. And obviously I had to leave the room at that time. But you know, respect with Coach Whitmore. As I said to you, I think we just have to settle in with the fact that he's our coach for the near foreseeable future. And we can, those are the pleasantries. We can get to talk about the game and the things in the game. As I said, it's funny, you know, the badge, but I would say watching the game out of the eyes as a journalist and a media personality is different than watching from it from a fan. And I think after it's near the end of the game that we went into fan mode now, coach, and start saying goal, goal, goal. Because you know you're supposed to be impartial as the media. You understand? I pick up all the players that will watch the team where I say cataract me, I beat them bad man, I want to healings from it. But listen, myself. And the truth me I talk. The truth set me free. You understand? I had a friend in this thing. You understand? We are the ultras, but if you don't play good, we are gonna talk it. If you play good, we are gonna talk it.
I'm not going to be calling any name, but yeah, our player actually quote unquote confronted Kefir. But I mean,
aside though, we're not here for a joke thing, but the whole that we want 1 point after 4 games, and what you want with it?
So coach and Cataract, wanna see the pink watch boss?
No,
nowhere to be seen.
We didn't.
But him a mediator, right?
Yes, but I don't think he was.
I think he's a mediator.
You know one thing I observed though, gentlemen and viewers out there, the players really looked dejected after the game. It showed me that they really wanted this. They really wanted it, and it never happened. Even what's his name? Shamar Nicholson. He was one of them who was not too pleased with his substitution. So after we spoke to him in the interview, he said that, I mean, he just wanted to help the team. You know what I mean? He just wanted to help the team. And
he said
he wasn't too pleased with the substitution, but it's the nature of the game.
So I feel like if you get 90 minutes, he will get a chance.
Yeah.
But I think what he really wanted to say was, no, he needed 5 chances. 5 chances weren't out there today. I guess tomorrow, coach, we'll be back on for a little stream and can do with player ratings and these things. Because it's a bit early now. But overall, I would call it a gutsy performance. You know, gutsy. No quarter was given, and no quarter was asked. You know, they had to fight for every blade of grass. Some people fought more than others. Some people were able to fight more than others. Some were unable to fight. And that's just how the cookie crumbles.
What's your assessment of Fisher, who we're all nervous about yesterday?
No, I was, well, I mean, clearly, it was a weak link, along with Flemings, in my book, had a nightmare. What I think what I think Flemings need to do, you see, coach, is I think Flemmer, before you leave tomorrow, find your granny and make her pray for you. You see that boasting thing where you did do after you score the goal in the Gold Cup, you notice nothing now go right for you again. Yeah, you need to wash off. That's all. He had a bad game and he missed the chance to give Jamaica the 3 points with that tame header.
To me, I think Flemings was the worst player on the pitch, to be honest. Um, Fisher started off bad. He had a relatively bad first half, but as the game grew older, he grew into the game and started to look better. Because he provided some nice crosses in the second half, just that he didn't land and anybody to put them away. But I think he looked a little better in the second half than how he looked in the first half. He was really poor in the first half.
But you know the problem I had with O'Neill Fisher though, MPEG, far too often he turns back the play. And that was, and I'm wondering if it is his movement, it is him opening his body to create space, or I don't even know how to explain it. But that was one of the issues I had with him. And you were right. He put in a few decent crosses, some that persons weren't expecting.
Coach,
Okay. Yes, Gather.
a cross can only be decent if it meets a target.
No, to be honest,
No, that's what I was
hold
saying.
on, no, you hold on. To be honest, hold on, just give me a chance, please.
Mm-hmm.
Shamar Nicholson held up his hand to receive the cross, right? The cross came in. Shamar Nicholson held his run a little bit too long. When he saw that the ball was getting away from him, that's when he started to get aggressively towards the ball. If he had rushed the ball early, not being offside, but rushed the ball early with that level of intensity, he would have reached the ball because he's a fairly tall fellow. So it was a decent cross.
Let me say again, the responsibility is with the cross of the ball to put a ball in that meets an intended target. That's how I learned football.
Additionally, let me put a little piece in it. Additionally, I think though you can put in a decent cross on the persons who are the intended target, because sometimes a cross is met and a cross is precise to the player. So the cross is that even that specific one that MPEC is making reference to, I believe that the players kind of hesitated or they weren't expecting that cross from Fisher. That's how I view that one.
I would say that Cataract is wrong as usual. It was an excellent. Wait. No, because you finished talking, so I jump in.
No, I didn't. Coach interrupted to make an addition to my point.
Okay, go ahead.
Just jumped on.
I'm gonna leave soon. That's why I jumped on. I'm gonna leave soon because I have to go to work. It's about 5 tomorrow to go to work, and it's been a long day. I would just say this, which is, it was a brilliant cross. As you know, Cataract, sometimes your commentators will say this: why is there no one in the box? They'll say that a lot of times, right? He put the ball in a spot. The forward need to go get the ball. The ball went to the far post. It was a short person who even had the ball out. Nicholson should be on that ball in the box, be a tiger, be aggressive. He wasn't. So I can't dispute that notion. Look, Fisher, to me, coach came on halftime and basically said, you know what, it's challenging for Fisher, right? I use my own terms. The problem was he's playing against a world-class player or a player close to being world-class. It's very difficult to play Alphonso Davies. He got a yellow card in the first, 15 minutes? I thought he was going to get a red card eventually because the player's going to have a hard night. We did really well with Alphonso Davies, given how we started the game. And I think the Canada coach missed a trick, which is he should have isolated Alphonso and Fisher all night, try to get the second yellow card, and it's hard to play with 10 men. He didn't. And Fisher held his own subsequently. So we can't.
I think though,
Fisher.
Sorry to interrupt, Cranky, but I think that based on how we were seeing it from where we were, it's as if the Canadians were playing for a draw. So with that comment that you made about isolation, it is something that could have been utilized. But from where we sat, we thought that the Canadians were playing for a draw.
I walked away thinking they didn't look as good as I thought they would, given their previous games. So you could be right. The heat probably also was a concern because we hear Whitmore talk about the English-based players and they're concerned about the heat. So not sure if it was hot there, but also could be a concern. So you don't want to overexert yourself. And I also thought sometimes styles make fights. So we pressed them pretty early. We were very aggressive with the press. So when you get hit pretty early, you really get very, very cautious. I thought they would have played better, and they had one of the best chances in the game. The best chance in the game was Roof's missed header, coupled with the Canadian player where Blake made a save. He needed to put that away. That's like 8 yards out. He should have scored that. But Roof's header that he missed, cataract. As you know, in England, they count the missed chance with the foot, just like count with the head. Most other parts of the world count the foot missed chances as big chances. His header was a huge missed chance. Huge.
It was not as huge a mischance as Flemmer's header.
No, they're not even close.
Flemmer's
header didn't come with a lot of pace to it. Roof's header had the pace. All you had to do was get it on target. Go back and watch it. So we got to see replay. In the stadium, you don't get replays. We got to see a lot of replays. I'm telling you.
So, I hope I can finish a point. I know Mr. Conky spoke long and hard in another forum about interrupting presenters. I hope he will follow his own advice. No, Clive Gordon, I'm not drunk. As Coach can attest, we stayed off the booze. Mr. Speed didn't provide any Hennessy and these things, and White Room, but I understand what kind of match them watch. I'm not going to debate those things. The header was a tame header, a clear header, and Flemmer should have buried it. Period. I'm going to rewatch the game. As I said, when you're in a live situation, you have people talking, Mr. Speed making his comments, some good comments, some not so good in terms of relevant. You have Craig Butler just spend the whole game calling for the coach to put on his son, Tyreek Baggy, giving us his best shatter impression. When I tell the people that they have to bring some oxygen and pour Mr. Craig. You know what I mean? But where will you rewatch the game? I'm sure that it will come back on Flow Sport. And as I said, with modern televisions, we have DVR. Okay? Good. Big up Jervis Parish, City Cataract. So I want to start on the positive notes. I would hope that maybe I missed it, but I would still like to hear a large apology from Stan Kroenke regarding his trashing of Anthony Grant prior to the judge wearing the shirt. And I would like to hear him discuss how wrong he was. I notice I don't see 1-1 or 0-0, but especially 1-1 showing his face. And I would too if I were you. I want to thank management for those prayers that he said. Clearly the Lord touched Grant today because it was a very torrid time. And I've been spoken to him. He likes playing with Devon Speedy Williams. He said Speedy understands the simple football and he likes playing with Speedy Williams. He enjoys it, he says. Those were his words. A bit more difficult to play with Hacker, but he really enjoys playing with Speedy and hopes that they get a chance to build a formidable partnership and understanding in the middle of the park for Jamaica. That was there. Also, I think Ruth had a workman-like game. We saw in the stands that everybody appreciated his hard work. I think Mr. Speed pointed out to how good his anticipation and reading of the game is. But what he's really there for is finishing. And we all agree he should be in the number 9 spot in the box to finish, not the work that he was put out there to do.
Did you ask Mr. Speed his assessment of Grant, calling him old man previously?
That's a very good point to make.
Right, and I will allow Coach. I will give you the honor to speak on that.
Hey, we were there, and I said I think it was a play over on the wing cataract, where
No, when he drove through with the ball and
yes,
he made a very decisive pass.
right. And I said, you know, Anthony Grant is a very smart player. And Mr. Speed agreed and said, yes, man, he's a very, very smart player. And him not all again, like we did think before.
He has admitted it.
So, coach, can I respond to the was posed at me to apologize? Can I respond?
Yes.
No, Catherine, get throw your hands up. Can I respond? You mentioned my name. So I have nothing to apologize for. I'm gonna take your cue. Nothing. We were debating about 3 players. We have not seen the other 2 players to make a comparison. Until that, and we have known what Kevin Stewart pedigree is. He played against Barcelona. He's played in the Premier League, and his main suit is tackling and progress in the play. So when we get to this point about I never said Anthony Grant shouldn't be in the team. You know, go check the tube. They recorded Cataract. What I said was compared to Cousins and to Stewart, I would select those 2 versus Anthony Grant. So until we see those 2 play for Jamaica, we can't say I should. And there's no reason for me to apologize because it's a comparison. Defense rest.
Well, I think you're wrong. Well, you're right sometime, Cranky. But in my estimation, I think you're wrong this time. I would go with Kevin Stewart and Grant. Cousins is a little bit off the pace, to be honest.
We haven't seen Cousins play for Jamaica.
Yeah, but we know. Yeah, but we know what Cousins has to offer as opposed to Grant and Stewart. So you need to watch other games.
Impact. Let me say this again. Until we see all 3 players play in the same environment and we can judge them, we don't have the sample size to make an informed decision about the comparison. So I will not apologize for something which is logical, because logic trumps enthusiasm. And let me go back to this. When Cranky talked about the Panama game, we want to go back to history and said, temper our perspective. What if we lose? I got bottles. I got shouted down. I was told how some player was at practice and they see this. And I was trying to be rational, as I normally am. So when Cataract can apologize to me for his atrocious behavior, when I was trying to bring reason and talking about contingencies, then I wouldn't apologize because there's no reason to apologize. Cataract, I know you're playing your musical chairs there. The floor is yours. You can have it. Because I'm going to go to my bed soon because I think at 5 o'clock tomorrow and I'll be having a long day. And it's been a long, and coach, I must admire you for what you do because I tell you, it's stressful. To be running private chat, public chat, bring people into the forum, respond to comments, focus on topics you want to talk about. I can't say I'm the best multitasker. So it was a challenge, but
and plus answering phone calls.
No, but yeah, he does answer phone calls. I didn't. I wouldn't take any phone calls, by the way. I would be banning the phone calls. Can't do it. Can't do so much things simultaneously.
Yeah, man.
And wait. And the worst thing is, the most difficult thing is dealing to the man diagonal to you. That's the most challenging part of all of this. Forget about all the things I mentioned. Luckily, I didn't have that. So the man diagonal to you can speak.
I hope you can find your way to hit the mute button. So I want to refer you to a few conversations when you questioned players in League 2 coming into the national team. So it wasn't only in the debate, but you got it wrong.
Peter, it's a debate.
I guess you can't do the mute button thing. You got it wrong. I want to big up Anthony. It's hard on him. I mean, I'm going to say this actually. He's in the last days of his career. And as he said, these things, the Mexico game was, he said, the hardest game he's ever played in his entire life from he's 7 years old till he's now 34. It's the hardest game he ever played, the Mexico game. This match, he just said the heat and the state and condition of the field, the pitch. Why don't we water the pitch? He said it's hard and the bounce is uneven. Not Swindon, I think they would. You'd say
They
would have
watered
had
it,
better.
Qatar. It was
Oh,
watered.
let us see if it duck it in our water then, because
Probably
the
they
surface
wanted it to be flooded, but if it was flooded, it probably go damage it. Remember, it's natural grass, you know.
Okay, so so Crosby got it wrong on Cataract, Crosby got it wrong on Grant, but he won't admit that. And so he's deferred his apologies, not unlike Mr. Speed, who was a big man, to say he was wrong. Dead wrong. He said the man that look young, the man that look old. Again. A midfield of Ravel, Grant, Speedy, and DJ would be an interesting one to watch. Would be a very interesting midfield to watch if we were playing a 4-4-2. If that ever happens, if we can ever get the players at the same time. There's still discord in the camp, but let's see how it goes. Well, I don't agree with you about Fisher's performance, but I hope to get a chance to watch the game again. I have my good friend Impec. There are no goals, but he normally supplies me with the slowed down video of the game. And so I look forward to when Impec and I can have our usual late night banter and we break down the plays. I think we also have to take our hat off to Javon Watson Hacker, because God, he knows how he made it, but he made it to the 90. And he said he's up to do whatever role the coach asked him to do.
Well, at centre back, it's less running still. So
I think it was, blessing in disguise for him in terms of at the centre back. I don't think he made any mistakes at centre back that I saw personally. I mean, he was obviously 3 steps slower, so most times he was beaten to the ball. I remember one ball that came down the Canadian left flank, and Hacker was like, "Not me? Who do think I'm gonna run out there go get that?" No, sir. And I think I can't remember who had to go out there and deal with the danger. Alvas has a night to forget, which culminated in his injury, and I hope we just quit now while we're ahead. Up front, I didn't think we had a cutting edge or a killer edge. Roof playing too far away from the goal. Boza got an elbow in his jaw, and I think, according to him, that pretty much, thanks to the mask, it wasn't worse, but it was painful. So there we go. And 16 people want to like the video, and like out the video and get it to 300. Yeah. I said Discord is not everything not clicking together. Everything not on the one track. You understand? So
All right, let me on. Sorry.
Who will we miss the next game?
Huh?
Oh, well, let's talk about who was at the game.
Yeah. Neil asking this question: how many people were at the game? Were there COVID measures in place? Obviously, yes, there were COVID measures in place. The securities, I possibly think, got word to enforce persons wearing their mask, because sometimes we feeling a little bit like we're suffocating or claustrophobic, and we pull the mask down, and they didn't give us an inch. We had to put it up. I mean, at the venue, you had, if you did not do a COVID test, there was a rapid test system set up there where you were able to do that test, and you get back your results like in 15 minutes time. I can't say the amount of people, but rough estimation, Cataract, about 400, if so many.
If so many, but there was a significant contingent of Canadian fans.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I want to talk about that. They were cheering and they had a little Canada flag in their hand and singing, "Oh, Canada,"
And
lustfully.
yellow, yellow, yellow. You remember
How
that chant?
the Canadian them get in? How the Canadian them get in? And the yard people can get in.
Yeah, that was unless they came on as a delegation with the team.
Yeah, that cheer, that love the cheer. But what I keep saying to you, coach, is that every away team gets an allocation of tickets.
Mm-hmm. You have been saying that for two, Keter.
We're our own there. Yeah, I put it right up. No one go to Honduras for Wednesday, brother. All that go. That's it out for you. Please and thanks, JFF, please and thank you. Yes, I'm saying that Canadian fans were in the stadium. A block of them.
Probably about
50,
no, it was
30. Between 30 and about 30 to between 30 and 50. I can't rate
between
you.
20 and 30.
No man, I don't say 20. 20 small coach.
Yeah, man. That's why I said between 20 and 30.
That's a
But isn't that the
25.
size of the Jamaican delegation normally?
No
So
man,
why?
no man, delegation different man. The delegation is down on the field and other places.
Okay.
These are just fans.
Okay.
People who come with the Canadian flag stuck in her headband and you know. That's different. They had a delegation who was there. Can we get anything from the Honduras game? Let's look into that. Mark Chambers, yes, we can. But it's been a long day. Let us focus on what happened. I mean, there's tomorrow and there's Tuesday. And then obviously there's Tuesday night preview. And then there's the Wednesday night before the game. But I also, as Cronky said, I would have time. I also haven't heard him bow to Team Cataract about the 100% accuracy of my prediction in the starting lineup.
You have a long time to wait for that to occur, and don't wait. I suggest you don't wait. Obviously, and first of all, we didn't agree with that formation. Not formation. We didn't agree with the team. And you need to mute your mic when I'm speaking because the Peony Wall might kill me. Um, Bro, it's so beautiful now. Oh my God, those are the. If you're in the comment section, doesn't it sound wonderful now? The peace, the tranquility, the quiet. Wow, maybe you should keep your thing on mute. So as I was saying, look, there. It made me lose my train of thought. That's hard to do.
We thank the Peony Wallies. We thank
That's hard
the
to do.
Peony Wallies. and I know this is your fake background.
My background is reflective. You know, it is fake. There's no English-based players in there, so it is fake. I would agree with you. There's no English-based players in there, so it's fake. English-born players, I should say. It's fake.
You are carrying on the division. You are the king of the division.
There is no English-born player, so it's fake. Because
yes,
I
but
believe
what I want you to say,
yeah, it's fake.
I want you to bow to Cataract. And out of your mouth say that Cataract was 100% right with the team that he put up last night to say that this would be the team starting. And I staked my reputation on it.
Yeah, your reputation is not worth anything. You need to have like tons of these things first because the last time you pick your team, we still haven't seen the team before this team. The last time you're picking your team, we spent the whole show and this team still wasn't picked because there was so much bottle in the comment section that we had to cancel. Yeah, yes, you didn't pick your team. You forgot. Against the US. Did you pick a team against the US? Did you pick a team against the US?
I put my team up. You may not have agreed with it, but we are at the Canadian game and Cataract was 100% right.
Yes,
and
yes.
Team Cataract will fire up in the cell, light up in comment section, Team Cataract. big up, Lady Claudia H. We have already given the expose. My wife Sanjay Brooks, your wife was complaining about the PD Wally there. Let us not hope. Um, let's not hope there's a least of her thing. This is Jamaica. The PD Wallies are out. Big up Claudia H. You know that she's a team cranky. Yeah, she have something to say. But we know that cranky are pay a mortgage. You understand? We know cranky are pay a mortgage, Claudia, but don't expose that already. You understand?
Claudia, some people hate the truth,
Let me
Claudia.
sit
Don't
up.
worry about it.
Let me
Then
sit
hate the
up.
truth. Hate the truth. Hate the truth.
Cranky, we're getting a lot of messages that you did a wonderful job, you know.
Oh, thank you. And
Okay.
by the way, I need comments from the cataract contingent. Did I do okay? I want to hear an objective view because I know you're conflicted. And cataract is able to say, if I did an okay job, you can say, you have to tell me I did great. You'll say I did an okay job. I passed the test. That's all. The way we're going in Jamaica right now, we haven't passed anything because we had 5 games in. We have 2 points. So if I pass the test, that's all good.
You have to question and query you when a man like Teddy Lee Gray, who opposes me in every facet, as a shower man and me as a comrade, and when a Teddy Lee Gray can issue a public apology to Anthony Grant, it shows up the lack of a man in you, Cranky. It shows up. Thank you. We accept the public apology on behalf of the judge, and we will let bygones be bygones, and we keep praying for him. You know what I mean? It was a solid acid test, and I'd love to see his numbers tomorrow when we go through things. Hey, Brown Man Security, pick up the whole Antigua. Because, you know me, I say, I'll do a red shot massive over there. St. John's in the building.
So I'll say this, which is, I've always said this. These programs are all recorded. My views and perspective are all written down in some archive in the cloud someplace. So you can go back and look at them. But what I've said about Anthony Grant, I wasn't as derogatory as some people. I may have had some reservations, rightly so. And the PD Wiles them are killing me, I tell you, star. But I win I bush it in because then PD Wiles they're a different type. Then they're on steroids.
It's
As
when
I'm
you
steroids, PD
hold on. As court can attest, I reside on a fairly sizable estate of land with many trees, fruit trees, mango
United
trees,
Country, United
etc.
Country, United Country.
No, uptown.
So
And
United Bush,
therefore,
United Bush,
I
United Hills, United
apologize.
Bush.
I apologize. No, it's right in the heart of town. I apologize for the Peely Wallies. Those of you who have left Jamaica and don't remember them, only used to sleep on the bed with Peely Wally, and I come go on a friend and then go on like anything on a nuisance. Ma'am to the man.
No,
This is the
when
Jamaican
I was in
ambience.
Jamaica, they were much smaller and they weren't as loud. Apparently, they have grown because there are people around them who are loud, and they have grown to be loud also. That's the problem. They're very loud.
Thank you, Keisha Lumsden.
Wait. Fisher got man of the match? Really?
I don't know. It must be the Pink Watch boss. I mean, has to be. That's some nonsense. The man of the match by any standard or any imagination is Anthony Grant. Please
I
don't
thought it was
even
between
go there.
Roof and Grant, actually. I thought Roof energy was intoxicating. I thought
But,
Roof energy.
but
Roof
the
had a lot of
misses,
energy. No, I agree with you, but you got to think about the entire game, right? For a 10 to play with so much energy and so much, he played a lot of defense today, which is check his stats actually. He was all over the place. Now his hold up play wasn't the best, and he missed chances, but at least he got chances. And that header he got, he was the one who rove above everyone else by a mile, and he was coming from deep. So I don't use chance as the sole criteria to judge your play. I thought he was involved in the game throughout, but I thought Grant made few, if any, mistakes throughout the game. So yes, kudos to Grant. He played well. And by the way, just like you, Devon reminded me that he was also involved in bringing Anthony Grant to the table. So I want to make sure when we're giving out accolades and kudos and we are congratulating people that we spread the wealth of such congratulations to all deserved parties and not bestow it on one person. Just saying.
As Devon will tell you, even when Devon stepped off of the train, which he did at a part of the time, and was on the, you would recall when Devon went on the Kevin Stewart bandwagon and telling us that Kevin Stewart was fit and trying to, I said Anthony Grant will wait because it's a long thing.
No. Devon never
But
got off the train. Devon was looking at alternatives and saying, you know what, the alternative is Kevin Stewart better than Anthony Grant?
Anthony Grant or bust.
Answer the question.
That was
Kevin
Kettle.
Stewart better than Anthony Grant?
He's younger.
Okay, is Anthony Grant better than Kevin Stewart?
No.
Okay, good. Point settled. But
Yeah,
you know what, Anthony Grant has done phenomenally well for a man who can't run. I can tell you, he's brilliant at getting fouls. He got like 4 tonight, 5 against Mexico. He's brilliant at getting free kicks by being smart, by blocking the opponent, by turning the right way.
Very smart.
He also doesn't turn the ball over, by the way. He always finds ways to get the ball off his feet.
I think Roof is that type of player too. He pulls foul.
Yeah.
But again, like I said at halftime, Cranky, I think he has a lot of style and flavor. But as we were talking about Qatar, it's sort of softness about his game, slight, easy to the ground, and all of these things. It's really tough.
Kemar uptown youth, man.
Yeah, it's not a robust type of player.
Mr. Kemar family can link to my hotel. Nice uptown upstanding people.
But him very still.
Him can play.
It's full of energy, very fit.
Another thing, Anthony Grant probably went in his top pocket like the referee and displayed some quick footwork on the field to dismiss some players. And some one person beside us, Qatar, was very astonished by the display. Ended up them there.
Mr. Speed. Mr. Speed, you never do scouting. To be fair to Anthony and Mr. Speed, Anthony had that young. He hasn't really pulled those out in his older age. But as he said, it means something to him when he put on a jersey. You know what I mean? It means something to him. That's good, obviously. Big up Doreen Brown. You know, so she a mama for Team Chatterer. She not said not Team Cranky. Big up Doreen Brown. So we have our ladies rolling in.
Doreen, I think I should get promoted, Doreen.
Neil Sovereign asked how come Grant fit into the team and the EPL man like Rupert Gray and Antonio struggled to gel into the team. A couple of things. Some of it have where you come from and the mentality that you have. Grant around the Lambeth, Stockwell, Brixton area, that whole area, there's a lot of Jamaicans there. And he has been coming to Jamaica every year to see his grandmother since she retired and came back. And so he has that style and flavor. Plus he's a bad man. And they like that kind of badness there, you know what I mean? They gravitate to it. So he said Andre Blake can point you to Damian Lowe, then we take him on them wing. And so you gotta make yourself accessible. You know, that's what I think, Neil. But I really think he had the man in the match performance. Really, really, really. You know what I mean? And to see Claudia Hodge from Team Cronky saying Grant on fire. Yeah, man. And I hope he has a good game next one. What I liked about his play is those telling passes that progress the ball from defense into attack. Danger. Whenever he sent forward a ball, there were about 2 or 3 times, it led to a dangerous move. It fizzled out in the end, but it led to danger. And I like that. And I could imagine it. I could imagine just 1 second, Grant. I could imagine if Ravel was done the end of the pass. So he progressed it like from our defensive third, just at the start of the attacking third. But really the player who got it, Roof, I would have loved to see Ravel receiving it and just see if Ravel could have worked his magic with those short passes to spring the striker. You were saying?
No, not to digress from what you're saying. We can come back to the point, but Javon is asking the question. So if those are in this chat who don't know Troops, Troops is a person who started out on AFTV, that's Arsenal channel. They have a lot of subscribers. He got his own show in the US where he also has a ton of subscribers. So he's based in New York. And I think he's half Jamaican or one quarter Jamaican. He's always using bad word. Well, what we consider bad words, they as you know, overseas, they treat it a bit differently when he talks about the players that play for Arsenal. So he's a well-known person who's not also part of somewhat of the traditional media. And I guess he's saying tapo out, which is Troops is always trying to fire coaches anyways. Not totally surprised. But I didn't know that Troops, I know he follows, he's always into Jamaica. I didn't know he followed the Reggae Boyz. So I am not going to touch the tapo out tonight, as I said before in the previous discussion we've had on this topic. I think we can talk about tapo out another day. I think we are not in despair this evening, so we shouldn't go that route. But it's something we'll have to address going forward because 2 points is still not good enough. But we didn't walk away with an L today, and given what Canada was playing, that was a possibility. And frankly, but the last shot that Taxi took, because we haven't talked about that, was a very good shot, a very good save by the keeper. We could have had a last-ditch win, which would have been difficult for Canada and hard to take, but I couldn't say it would not have been deserved on our point, from our part, I think.
Big up Devon Wright, fresh from Mars. So having just come in at the space shuttle, the score was Jamaica 0, Canada 0. 1 point to each team. Big up Devon Wright. How was the atmosphere out there? Panama won, USA 0, and I think Mexico beat Honduras. Is it 3? Was it Mexico and Honduras today? Mexico won.
Yeah, they won, but Honduras had a player sent off, I think, before that transpired. So I think the sending off was a big turning point in the game.
Mm-hmm. No,
so you see all this. You must be in your own little world now with all the Peeny Wallis put all these grand comments. It must be.
I am expressing humility, giving thanks to God, because Madden's man did lay down a prayer.
Yeah, man, we have a big prayer meeting at the end of the show.
Prayer meeting at the end of the show last night. You were in bed, Cranky. And we prayed and he ripped his sackcloth and ashes. And so, we thank him for lifting up Anthony Grant to the Lord.
Even the Peeny Wallis get load up praise Grant. I praise Grant and you hear them. They must sing to Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant is a star. No, he played well. I'd love to see stats, but he played well. It was very obvious he played well. Very
so Neil Sovereign. So I don't know if he can take the role. I really think that role belongs to Mariappa. But I also believe that Grant there is a respect for Anthony Grant amongst the English contingent. I'm not sure, like Michael Antonio, who will be a Premier League lad, but certainly amongst the rest of them because they know of his work. They know him. You can't be in English league football. I mean, you could be in Premier League and not know who Anthony Grant is. It just don't happen. He's one of those midfielders that you would have come across and you would have known, especially those who would have come through League One. Or his short time in the championship. Big up Kirmol. Big up yourself, Team Cataract.
Hey, Cataract. One at a time, a Peeny Wallis something there a while ago, I mean, I was looking to see if it was actually my
Coach, I must say it's the investment in a microphone. So this mic is like picking up everything, man. It's top of the line. That's when Coach. That's when you go top of the line. It's go research. It's what you call a blue microphone. BLU. It's top of the line.
Coach.
Cataract in the building.
So, Coach, the man said the microphone is excellent. It picks up everything, right? So normally when you're in an environment, in a media room, whether it's a studio or otherwise, want to block out all noise apart from what you're portraying to your public. I fail to see why you go buy a mic and have all this noise in the background, which then affects your ability to deliver what you're saying without interruption. Now, that's why I have a headset on, so all the ambience in my environment is blocked out, and all the audience is hearing is what I'm trying to communicate. Can you articulate why we are hearing all this noise? And you want us to mute, by the way. Whatever the thing noise make, mute your mic, mute your mic. I hear too much noise in the background. Can you explain to us? Or maybe Team Cataract, maybe I should look at this comments for Team Cataract fans to explain that to us. I'm confused. I'm confused. Please explain.
First of all, I must say, you would also notice the top of the line headphones, which gives me isolation as well. So you're not the only isolator. I mean, it's MPEG who is left out in the dark. But I'm just telling you, Team Crank gonna have not know about Team Cataract. Everything gonna have what have. I will sort it out, people. I get the engineer. It's a bit of a time. He's gonna tweak it and put the buttons right. Because there's a lot of buttons in there to get it right. But for now, this is Coach's desk where the Peely Wallies live. You understand?
Carefully now. Carefully. Remember, I'm also a YouTuber, so don't let me start rolling out my equipment.
Well, you have to, because we won't allow you again.
Because I have my camera, my mic, my tripod, my headset, everything. So don't let me start.
Roll out, man. Roll out, my brother.
Be careful.
As Stan Cronky said last night, the show has gotten outgrown us. So we're not going to allow people to come on here just talking through their laptop microphone. It's not going to work, my brother. So we're giving you a week or so to set up your setup. Yeah, cause.
So can we see the Peely Wally emblem, please? I mean, it must have some.
So coach, you have to get a Peely Wally emblem. Yeah. It was Peely Wally massive. You understand? Team Cataract. That's our mascot. You know? The Peely Wally. Pick up all country people. You see what I say? Me not live down there, live though. Me live uptown. That me telling you, sorry, you know the badness go. Yeah, man, big head boy. But I give it to Roof. I take off 2 points off of Roof. I give it to Grant. I take off 2 points off of Roof for the missed goal. The one where he took the shot early, rather than send the true pass to Andre Gray.
I'm telling you, Cataract, the header. When you watch the game, you see the header because you fully understand like English football and headers. It was a really terrible miss. Yeah, but because the ball was over his head, you know. It came perfect.
But this will be the second header because in the last in the Panama game he had a point blank header.
So here's the question, Cataract, which is the Panama game, he was on target, it was point blank. Was he trying to be too cute with it to make sure he gets it in the corner? Instead of going for the goal, because the goal is wide, let me hit the target. He tried to be very cute because he got it flush, you know, and he's trying to flick it. And it was hard to miss the target because he was in the middle of the goal. It's not like he was on the side, like Femo was, and trying to go to near post. He should have put that away. A player of his quality should put that away. But they had a better chance, I thought, or a similar chance, which is when Alphonso Davies went down the line and crossed the ball back, it missed Mariappa. Was it near post? The kid that came in and hit the ball and Blake saved it. He could have walked the ball into the goal. There was no one there. Taxi was way behind. There was no one there. So if we're talking about chances, they had a few decent ones. Davis missed one in the first half. I think their captain missed one. We had about 3. They probably had about the same, actually. So it probably was an even game at the end of the day. The score probably was effective. Yeah.
It reflected much. Big up O'Keefe Davis. Money pull up. 1 point earned by Jamaica and 2 points lost by Canada. They are the informed team. Firing hard, and we are a struggling team. Good point by Jamaica. Yes, but we really need a win. We need to win our home matches, my brother. Otherwise, we have to go on the road and hope for a win against Honduras. And they'll be licking their wounds. MPEC have a one razor, man. And a barber sal. Shaving cream. That's what I'm doing thing. The man in the barber, brother. the show is sponsored by Empeka. Empeka wear a company shirt. Court, I have a charge for advertising, you know. They have a charge for advertising. You see me? Yeah, that man try to page, but yeah, that's a real cat on that one. That can't go on. No, say, make a man know straight. But say we get beaten because I call out the GFF. I go and get beaten because I call out the players. I gave him his particular rating in the game. If you can check that, they never say my worst player in that game. But no man can. I sent quote some today. England beat Honduras 5-0. And Kieran Trippier and I think Mason Mount at 6 them yet. We can't objectively rate our players. You understand? So I'm a sensitive dog.
I guess the notion is that once you're I remember I think that the person said cataract as a media person you have to be don't pick side basically.
No, Emma said to me either me is the head of the fans or me is a media man. But that means that the dog not understand how it think. We can't get to the stadium as what? As a hooligan? What pastor was it? Cataract hooligan? No.
No. We're confused about something. Cataract pass the media was temporary. Coach is permanent. Cataract pass was removed subsequent to the completion of the game today. Coach can keep his indefinitely unless he decides to get off YouTube. Cataract pass is not permanent. And Cataract, you need to move. You need to mute your. You need to. When I hear the nice background, you mute your mic.
It not temporary.
Anybody can have a misprint. They forgot the temporary coach. They forget the temporary on the pass. They forget the temporary.
I'm tired of embarrassing you.
If you get the temporary coach, get the temporary. Because they couldn't give him a permanent pass. Then that person drunk.
I also think that people are happy to see us. Tell them the coach. Mother tell me say the man if I let me in the place. No, you weren't there with Malin's man. And even if he came across and said, this is a coach, this is a cataract. Big up the man, my friend, the viewer from Maypen.
Yeah, Maypen, yes. That Maypen.
Yeah, man.
Hey, yeah. What he said when
I wonder if a Balakar. Because Balakar don't come from Maypen.
Balakar, I think it's Trelawney, isn't it?
No, man,
no, Balakar from... Hey, Balakar, where come from?
I thought Balakar was Trelawney, actually.
So, big up Robert Gray.
The man was excited to see us.
The man was excited to see us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. And another brethren was over by where we drove in at Nannyville. Cataract! Man's man!
And when I came after...
So like a homeless person.
Cataract, when
I came after... Security.
It was the same thing, yeah, man.
Yeah, security.
No, it's a good thing. Look, it's the same
and then
thing.
There was a policeman. I don't know if you saw the police. There's a policeman that ride the team that came and asked us, boy, he never see coach with boy one night.
Yes.
Coach get fired.
And I said, policeman just call us up in him.
No, man. No, man. Him said to me first before, and I asked you, him said, he can already ask the regular media man about you guys on YouTube. You know what happening? That's what I'm call you.
Okay.
Regular media, YouTube, I take over. People are coming here for the real, authentic Reggae Boyz news. Step up on the game.
Anyways, somebody asked a question about the interviews. I put up 2 interviews so far. One with Jamal Lowe and one with Javon Watson. In tomorrow, I'll put out the others so that you could see them. All right, so I'm not gonna put up everything tonight. Tomorrow you'll see the others.
A who grant move up, or who grant runway. Those things happen on the pitch. I said to the young guy, you try program in general. If you want to play a simple game, you have to work with your CDM. And he is talking, he's pulling the strings, so take instruction. And we don't have to ask too hard who it is. Certainly was a hacker or Speedy.
Hey, Cataract, someone is saying that the Peeny Wally are like you. They never take a break. They continue.
No, they just asked. I've taken a break. You went to eat your dinner and said good
I
night,
took a
and then
break.
you're
I
back.
took a break.
And then
I
you're
took a
back.
break. Now
You
I'm gonna
just
leave
can't
soon.
live without it, can you?
I gotta do. It's 11:37. I decided to leave at 11:40. 3 more minutes. But I took a break. The PD Wild are continuous, just like Cataract. So you know what? They're Cataract team. They're Cataract team. They don't
Sherman
need an emblem
Scott, big up
coach.
yourself. Nathan Calendon, identify himself, coach. Sherman Scott,
Oh
big
yeah,
up yourself, my
Sherman.
brother.
Big up
yourself,
Sherman.
big up yourself, brother. Big up
Yeah,
the whole
man.
life fans. Man. We alone have fans out there. Me don't say nobody a ball for Pink Watch Boss. Me
Yeah.
don't say nobody a ball for your Pink Watch Boss. Or the people know Cataract and they know coaches. They know management. They know the real people.
Yeah,
And if
man.
Cranky they come out, they say they gonna know
So
Cranky.
no. When I went to Florida, people were hailing me up who I didn't know.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
one provided me with directions because he's like Cranks from coach. He said coach's desk. I said, oh, okay, I understand. So not because I don't talk about it like you do, because I'm not, I'm used to these things, but I understand. You can keep talking.
Yeah, Sherman, big up yourself, man. Sherman, appreciate
It's a good
it.
thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
The concept of media is changing. The media is not just the traditional media who want to tell you what you want to hear. The concept now is that media is distributed, and those who have the wherewithal and want to be involved and want to provide authentic news can do so now with forums such as this to do so. So I'm all supportive of that, right? We don't want to always be the thing where it's orchestrated and you can press and push and prod to get transparency. We want to make sure that we get clarity. So these forums can help to do that. Why did Cataract disappear? The penny wallet them taking away. You see those shows where you see these things, these small ants like pull away a much heavier, or he's trying to come back.
Yeah, Sherman say he's in every night. Big up yourself, Sherman. Yeah, man, we know how you did that Nannyville, Sherman. Yeah, cause Sherman told me that Cataract and Manningsman were ahead of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coach, I must say good night because I have to get up at 5 tomorrow. I'm gonna be like Devon, when we more seasoned people need our 5 hours sleep. Good night, good job. Even though Cataract didn't come on during the stream, which I was very disappointed about because I think when I was in Orlando, I made sure I went on coach's desk, so I'm not sure why you didn't, but maybe your battery was working like Mr. Speed. I do understand that too.
No. It's the music in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, coach, I don't go to some section where, okay.
Right, and so because the sound was playing loudly, coach feared that there might be some copyright issue. So that's the only reason why we're missing.
Oh, because if you stayed a little bit longer, I probably would have taken your fans, but that's okay. That's for another day. I'll take the people who support you or your team, because they'll change team eventually.
They're not Wesley.
No, Wesley's not changing team.
General.
Wesley's like Jim Jones in Guyana, where you get indoctrinated and you get brainwashed. Wesley
Ricky Dunks. Brown man security. Tell them people you're not Doreen Brown. Tell them you're not change the mama.
Well, coach, I'm gonna say good night, Cataract, Impact, and all those in the chat. Thank you guys for being on stream today.
I appreciate it again.
Awesome. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, man. Good night.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, J Shy 876. Yeah, man. Grant did say he just wanted to get one foot in the door and prove himself. You understand? I mean, he's coming from good pedigree. He had good prayers covering him. Big up Kim Rule, Team Cataract. And man, the Team Cataract will then die. You're not getting nobody a drip off a Team Cataract. Man, the NI thing and the moment them NI thing. Big up Anna Lee on the next side. You know what I say? Fabian, for we know say your team cranky. That make the crankers them say good night. You know what I say? But interesting times, coach. I like, and when I talk to Granty, I like what he has to say about Speedy and how he's taken to the youth. There's a big man. I had to tell him Speedy was 29. Everybody like, oh what? Seriously? Everybody that Jamaica look young. And to say El Madrid Reggae Boy, he has his quality. Might not be the best, but he far from the worst of people like one, far from the crackhead and them thing they were man call him and wheelchair. You need a wheelchair, a red card waiting to happen. Although, and let me tell you something about Brad. Yeah man. I am sure. Thanks for the prayers. We said that earlier. I'm gonna need some more prayers before Honduras again. Because we have to bless up the team. And the people that need for boss man is man to say the prayers, you know. You understand? Let me say this. When you are developed and you have good mentorship, and I was showing coach something today. You see the players then that develop at academy, when you look at their calf muscles and leg muscles, they have a different cut up. They cut up differently. I was showing coach. And some of the man that just come to the Jamaica thing, a bird leg them have, a chicken leg, a serious thing. Where are what the man that come to serious top academy? Roof, Grant, and who was the other person, coach? Roof, Grant, and Chano. What are the youth we're looking at? If you see who really come to, you can see the definition that is years of nutrition and strength training and muscle building up muscle, you know what I mean? Yeah man, Grand Calm man, I'm a family, you know, brother. A family.
So Cataract,
Mm.
are you still optimistic, or you think we're going to continue to struggle?
I think we'll continue to struggle. I think until the new year. I really do.
But if we continue to struggle, that is bad for us because
Yeah, Karim Grant. Go ahead.
with every match passed by, it's less. The points to attain is less because yesterday, earlier today it was a possible 30 points. Now it's a possible 27
27.
points remaining. So with every game we struggle, our chances are diminishing. So I think we're at a turning point where it's a do or die. We cannot wait till it comes down to only a mathematical chance. So we have to start winning games now. So I think we should play the Honduras game like a final, or oh sorry, we should play the Honduras game as a semi-final because we are good at winning semi-finals but not finals. So I think we should treat every game from now on as a semi-final, and so we can qualify.
Mm. Mm. I agree with you. The sad thing is that I think Mikel Antonio would have enjoyed this win. I think this is the game that he would have thrived in because I think he would have put away those chances against Jamaica.
He would have scored tonight, definitely.
Right? And so it's sad. He would have scored tonight. Um, but the men that step in, you know, I mean, things are the first time him get nutmeg and since 15 years, not even in training. But it's a boy, thing got out there. The player them come to eat food. And everybody saw, I don't know how Fisher get man of the match and the man of the match discussion. Man, he yam out him food out there, brother. But the only thing that there was Flemmo there to save him from being the worst player on the field. That Flemmo was
Flemmo couldn't save
really bad.
himself.
He was
Flemmo couldn't save himself.
really bad. One that time was shame for him, brother. One that time we in I stand and say exactly what happened. Watch our Flemmo a ball watch and now come wide. Watch number 17 and we get a shot on target. Cause the man just post down the right wing and just get a free run in and Kemar Lawrence have a look at two people. I know I go to the and I shoot the ball. I tired though, I'll tell you.
To be honest, I think Fisher has played his best game he has played all year. All the other games I've
Yeah, but
seen
that's not
him.
hard to do. Remember saying normally they have minus 10 and minus 20, you know. So it's not hard to do if you get up to 0. El Madrid, where you reading or rate my style? I want that. What will you know? Jah, no, dog. I want to say about El Madrid, but I said not bad. I want to say that. The Rose, I think, was dead on arrival. Claudia, we don't know which Rooster was dead on arrival, you know. Remember you're not team cranky, you know. Tope, I don't even know why he knows that he was there. Look here, El Madrid, when the number 7 for Suriname did have his way with Amari Bell, as well as other players, we never ease up on Amari Bell. Nobody ever ease up on Amari Bell. So why we are ease up now? Where is up now? We're going to have Fisher, brother, because all this now, next thing we're going to see the man come back in the side again, dog. And the man will say, boy, you don't need to call Kyle Walker Peters, because Fisher there. And that time was the next, you know. So I'm going to watch the game again, brother, but from where we start.
But at the same time, we have to be honest, though, you know, he has played his best game. He has played all year.
Yes, what I'm saying, it's not hard, because every other game he had was rubbish.
No,
so
we didn't
hard.
say it was hard, you know, but we didn't expect him to.
Yeah, he was sorry. He was very upset, Jason Nelson. He was very upset on being so. Kicking over bottles and having a tantrum. But as he said in the interview with Coaches Desk and myself, he really wanted to put one in the back of the net for Jamaica. Maria had an assured game, I am sure sports. If the admin get it right, the next window we can get 9 points. Well, I don't know how we're going to get 9 points, big head boy, because there are only 2 games. Big head boy, I don't ever rub you out this later, I'm tired of that.
All right, I think it's no time though, Qatar. Call it a night. Yeah, because as I said, we're tired and a wolf up and down. Need to stay on us on our feet. So I just want to say thanks to all the persons who made this stream possible. Tonight, the post-match reaction, live reaction. I must say again, thanks to Cranky and Neo Sovereign for holding down the fort. MPEC, Catara, Devon, Manningsman, big up yourself. People, if you have not subscribed to I Am Sure Sport, you need to go over there and subscribe. Yeah, man. So, big up on yourself. Thanks again for a wonderful stream. We have a game coming up again before the week ends.
Wednesday. So we're coming on tomorrow night for the player ratings, coach.
Tomorrow night, Tuesday, Wednesday.
It's a football week, you know. You can't compete.
Yeah, man, I know. Well, yeah, we'll see how that. We'll see how.
We have to do a short thing and rate the thing and go through the statistics so we can look into the preview.
Right.
Yeah, man.
I must also big up to the Erudite Squad. And these, you might be hearing me calling this name from time to time, but sorry. It's the persons who would have joined the membership of the Coaches Desk channel. You know what I mean? So these persons got that special name. It's them. Their names are in different color and so forth. So yeah, man, big up to those people. Kareem Grant. The next time we come on the stream, we'll play that video. Actually, Catarac and MPEC, Kareem would have gotten permission from the reggae coach.
No, coach, you have to drop that, man. Coach, you have to drop it. Coach, you have to drop it, coach. Right away, coach. People will need a laugh and that. Just to take coach. Do it now, wait. You have to drop it. Big up Jarvis Paris. Big up yourself anyway. Turn up you. Coach, drop it tonight, coach.
All right, let me try and find it.
We're going to end on an high note. Nobody no move.
We're going to use it to close the stream.
Yeah, man. Nobody no move, you know.
You can tell us how we gone. Or we can go under that membership.
Okay, there's a join button. I'm not certain if the persons locally are able to do that. It's mainly for the persons
Overseas,
outside of
diaspora.
Jamaica. But I understand that there can be a patron squad. So I'm gonna do some more reading up on that, and so I could inform you more where that is concerned.
So Kareem, you have to invite him to come on the program, you know.
Yeah,
to come on the program. I'll give you like a IT and fancy cat special. I wouldn't want a video that I'm doing tonight. But I get the next one at TripleTreat. I'm tell the man I want Cataract want the royalties, you know. That I tell him.
Yeah, man, we need him on the program, man.
So
Jason
this will be
the subscription button.
This will be what take us out of the. Somebody said I should check Syrupy. Not easy, you know. All right, but this will take us to the end of the stream. So when this finished, the stream will end. Thank you all for making this possible today. Listen to Dexter's Lab. Big up yourself, Dexter's Lab. Wherever you are.
Things first. I need some game strategy and some formation. And coach, how it's not that? I got some cricket thing that. No more thought to only English baller. We're just coming at the team. We know we're not accustomed to this organized and intelligent way of playing football. Forget about that. No man, Mr. No put no name on the jersey them. No put no name on the jersey them. Remember says a different squad each time, you know. So the jersey them have to go wash over. Number 7 today not gonna be number 7 tomorrow. Bruh.
He needs some milk.
I can know from early, you know, it's a different team I start today again, you know. Just like I work with it or I don't work with it. That 4-4-2 formation at the ball before in the ball on a dead left seat. So we not change it. Paul, you know, it's a solid team we have. It's a solid team we have in a Paul. I'll be a new man though. You start the one of them. Big man, what you just do? I score, you score? I never give you permission to score back bench. Bench. You say go sit down on the bench. Alright, you normally play on the left wing. I'm gonna put your center back. Game strategy. A Jamaican here. We know for build a vibe. We know for build a vibes. Some of the man them go there and for build a vibes. If we score a goal, we work with it, but more of the man them build a vibes, alright? Me nah go nowhere. So coach, when are we gonna do some film work and such? Like film work for all the teams? I was thinking like you come from, you know, but man, we not watch people you're saying. Yeah, man, not watch people. Paul, I would have told you that, so. 21. I don't know him. Only in trouble, you know. Only in trouble after digging away out of the one. I come and I lose my job over this, you know. Nah, go nowhere. Bench. You scored 2 goals. 2 bench. Next thing, the ball movement. I don't want to see the ball that touch the ground. Ball fit in at the ear from defense to forward. As a God, I don't know what I do. Go nowhere. You're too tall, bench. We don't need a midfield. Just make sure the ball in the ear. Make sure the ball in the ear. Yo, youth, come here. You're up on a piece of farm. I like how you play, man. I like how you play, man. I like how you play. Where are you? Alright, so you'll come off your bench next man. Fire who? You know who me be? You know who me be? You know who me be? Wow.
Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.